nice rendition of the national anthem has been performed, and that means we are ready for baseball. Once again, good evening, everybody, for the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. I'm Farrell Hudson. It's the Geneva Red Wings. It's the Elmira Pioneers. It's the fifth matchup of the season between both squads, and it's live here from Dunn Field. Thank you for spending part of your Friday night with us. Pioneers have taken the mound behind their right-handed pitcher, Brendan Hayes, an honorary first pitch out to be thrown. Nice crowd on hand on this Friday evening as we'll refresh you through, once again, the Geneva Red Wings batting order. Zach Banks is the DH. He'll lead off. Jules Conti at second base will bat second. Chase Fogg in left field will bat third. Aiken Santana doing the cleanup in tonight's ball game. He's at first base. Jack Turner, the right fielder, will bat fifth. A bit of a slumping average for him. He can also play some first base for that Geneva team. J.D. Robinson at shortstop. He'll bat sixth. Michael Ucci, the extra hitter, who's been phenomenal at the plate this season. He'll bat seventh. Jaden Madrid is the third baseman. He'll bat eighth. Colin Clark doing the catching. He'll bat ninth. And rounding out the batting order is Dylan Briggs. We mentioned Brendan Hayes at Barry University, a sophomore who appeared across 25 innings in 2025, his most in collegiate baseball. Gets the start here against Geneva. For Brendan Hayes, a 4.91 ERA, a 1-1 win-loss record. 3 appearances on the season, 2 starts. Across 11 innings, still pitching to a bit of an inflated batting average. That came as a result of his 2 shortened outings, an inning of relief, or rather an inning and a third of relief at Batavia back on May 31st. And then you look at his 7-inning start last week, non-chronological order, but his 7-inning start against the Geneva Red Wings, and then his 2 2/3 shortened outing against the Batavia Muck Dogs back on Friday, June 13th. He's getting his warm-up tosses in with the catcher, Brandon Dubeck, and while we have a moment, the Elmira Pioneers would like to thank some of our most loyal sponsors for the 2025 season, including Absolute Care of Three Rivers, AIM Independent Living, AJ's Outdoor Power Sports, Al's Leasing, Ann's Pancakes, Blaze Brockway Contracting, and Buckley's Automotive. A bit of some exciting and surprising news that you might have just heard through our crowd mic here at the ballpark. The 4-year Elmira Pioneer and Tufts University jumbo, Cooper Smith, congratulations to him. He's off to George Mason University to complete his graduate years in the Washington District of Columbia. What an exciting time for him and his family, so congratulations to Cooper, who's been nothing but professional since the beginning of his time here in Elmira, and following up his 3rd season with another outstanding senior campaign, if you will, here at Dunn Field for the Pioneers, batting .306. Brendan Hayes has finished his warm-up tosses on this nice, cool, and cloudy Friday evening. Zach Banks in from the left side. He'll dig in, and we're just about ready for baseball. Zach Banks, switching his uniform number, was at number 36, wore number 36 last summer as well when he was a member of the Rochester Ridgemen. We mentioned his prowess there, leading the NYCBL in extra base hits, stolen bags, and off to a great start in Geneva this year through 19 ball games, batting .407. Hayes is set from the right side of the rubber. Brendan kicks and fires, and the first pitch is a fastball fouled back, 0-1 the count. Start time is 6:38 p.m. on this nice 74-degree evening for the Pioneers. This is home game number 12 on the season. They have dominated the Dunn. They are 8-3 and 8-2 in their last 10 since their opening night defeat to Jamestown. Change up over the outside corner from Hayes for a called strike 2. And way ahead in the driver's seat on Banks, and the Pioneers have handled him well, specifically that game up in Geneva back on June 14th, one in which Garrett Rochon got the start across 5 innings of work. He was really masterful, including the top of the batting order going 1 for 6 in their opening 2 trips to the plate. As Banks fouls off the next offering, it'll still remain 0-2. Just 3 pitches in here on a nice Friday evening. Hayes comes set, working out of the stretch, kicks and fires, and the breaking ball just misses high, 1-2 the count. Just underway here in Elmira, one of 5 games across the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League this evening. As Hayes comes set from the right side of the rubber, righty on lefty matchup, the 1-2 just missing off the plate again is Hayes. Pioneers wanted that strike call. Count runs to 2-2. Brendan comes set, looking to finish off Banks after an 0-2 count and a high fly ball to center field. TJ Grimesti, a couple steps in, settles under it, and puts it away for out number 1. So Banks, a very potent hitter, the second highest OPS of any player between both lineups tonight appearing in the ball game, as he flies one there to Grimesti in the middle of center field. That'll bring up Jules Conti, the second baseman, digging in from the right side. Here with one out and the base is empty. Simmons playing even with the bag at third. Grabowski and Moniz at their regular positions in the middle infield as a bunt attempt from Conti. Check his swing. Did Conti go around? Field umpire confirms yes. 0-1. Conti on the season batting .222. 2 hits, no extra base hits. And no RBIs just yet as he takes a fastball over the outside corner for a called strike 2. Brendan doing a nice job of working ahead. Had Zach Banks 0-2, then the count went to 2-2. Banks always a very tough at-bat. Got him to fly out on a fastball, and now induces a swing and a miss. A beautiful slider over the outside corner. Conti's retired for out number 2. So 2 quick outs in the top of the first inning, and that'll bring up the left fielder Chase Fogg, entering his junior season at the Queen's University of Charlotte down in North Carolina. He'll dig in, righty-on-righty matchup, as Hayes sets and fires, and the breaking ball misses low and away. 1-0 the count. Fogg, a tough start for him to his 2025 summer campaign. A 115 batting average, and it's not like you're looking at an incredibly small sample size by any stretch of the imagination. 12 ball games, so he's appeared in roughly 60% of Geneva's games, primarily at the shortstop position. Tonight he gets the start in left field as he launches a breaking ball inside. 2-0 the count. Hayes doing a nice job of mixing his fastball slider, the arsenal, at all different times of the counts. First time he's been behind significantly in a count in the ball game, but gets a foul ball here. So 2-1 the count with 2 outs. Just underway, no score in the top of the first inning. The 5th matchup of the season between Geneva and Elmira. Hayes comes set, fires the 2-1, a swing and a tip off of the catcher's glove. Might have caught the mask of Dubeck, rolls out in front of the plate, umpire retrieves. 2-2 the count. Mentioned Brandon Dubeck, who has probably got the least out of all time behind home plate so far this season. You have 4 catchers really capable on the Pioneers. Not only capable, but have gotten starts. Anthony Manganiello, Carl Wagner, who's been defensively a wall behind home plate, TJ Grimesti, and Dubeck inserted in with Hayes tonight, who fires a 2-2, and Fogg just gets a piece of the breaking ball. Fouls at first base side out of play. For Fogg, he's got 3 hits, 2 extra base hits, 2 RBIs, an incredibly low slug percentage of 192. Just next to Casey Burcroft, that's lowest on Geneva amongst all starters. Second lowest, and that's 10 or more ball games for each on the season. There's a chopper right back to the mound. Hayes stares down Fogg, takes it almost to the bag himself. An underhanded flip in time to Palmer to complete a 1-2-3 top half of the first. For Geneva, no runs and no hits, no errors, and no runners left on base. We'll head to the home half. No score here on the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Elmira as we head to the bottom half of the first inning. Pioneers and Red Wings, no score here on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Geneva's taken the field behind their starting pitcher Elijah Benton. We'll get to Benton in just a few short moments, but for now, it's the Elmira Pioneers starting lineup. Here's Aiden Grabowski, the shortstop. He'll lead things off. Cooper Smith, just recently committed to George Mason University. He's playing right field. He'll bat second. TJ Gramesti will bat third in center field. Made the catch on the flyout off the bat of Zach Banks to open up the top of the first. Anthony Manganiello is the DH. He'll do the cleanup tonight for Elmira. John Simmons is at third. He'll bat fifth. Michael Palmer is the first baseman. He'll bat sixth. Jacob Owen is at second. He'll bat seventh. Brandon Dubeck doing the catching will bat eighth. Shane Starr in left field will bat ninth. And rounding out the batting order for your Pios is Vincent Favada. The Pioneers would like to thank some other loyal sponsors for the 2025 season. That includes Bully Hill Vineyards, CAF USA, Centralis Health, Chemung Canal Trust Company, Chemung County AG Promotions, Chemung Supply, and Coca-Cola. Grabowski gets set to dig in. Righty on lefty matchup against Elijah Benton. Benton making the start on the mound for the first time this season against the Elmira Pioneers. And for Benton, a 7.88 ERA. He's 1-0, 8 innings of work. 9 runs, 7 earned on 7 walks and 4 strikeouts, but when he's around the zone, pitches to an opposing batting average of 194. Here's Grabowski. We don't need to say anything else more about Aiden. He's been outstanding in the past week for the Pioneers. Delivered another hit and an RBI at Auburn on Wednesday night. It was the lone run of the ball game for the Pioneers as he stands in and takes a fastball on the inner third from Benton for a called strike one. It'll be Grabowski, Smith, and Gramesti. Righty heavy to come to the plate in this home half of the first against the southpaw Benton, who kicks and fires inside corner, called strike two. Grabowski not thrilled with that call, steps out of the box. Just underway in the bottom of the first inning. Jaden Madrid plays even with the bag at third. At shortstop, Robinson is deep on the edge of the outfield grass, so is Conti at second. Santana about 10 steps behind the bag at first. 0-2 offering, and Grabowski a high pop-up behind the plate. Getting a read on it is Clark. Colin Clark settles under it and makes the catch for out number 1. So Grabowski unusually retired on 3 pitches. And that'll bring up Cooper Smith to the plate. Pioneers would like to extend a special thank you to Duncan as they have teamed up with the Food Bank of the Southern Tier program. For each run your Pios score this season, Duncan will donate a pound of coffee to the Food Bank of the Southern Tier. Thank you, Duncan, and go Pios. 1 out in the bottom of the first, and the fastball catches the inside corner for a called strike. Early sample size, only 4 pitches into Benton's outing, but seemingly his bread and butter against the first 2 Pioneers batters to come to the plate, and Grabowski, who popped up on the third pitch with an 0-2 count. Now Smith stands in to face the 0-1 as Benton rocks and fires in a swing and a miss. Letter high fastball. Smith chases through it, 0-2. Cooper on the season batting .306. Had a brief hiatus away from the lineup last week due to a hand injury, but has been back and contributing in his usual form, playing right field tonight. Fastball just misses off the inside corner. 1-2 the count. That's a good take from Smith. We've seen Cooper, a knack for a great eye at the plate. Andy Drum mentioning to me just a couple weeks ago, Smith's one of those guys where you can rely on him to get 120, 140 at-bats in the season, and you're only going to see him strike out 5 to 8 times and maybe get caught looking like once or twice. It's modern-day Tony Gwynn Jr. for the Pioneers, if you will, as the breaking ball from Benton misses outside. 2-2 the count. Smith takes a moment to step out of the box and collect his swing, and now he'll dig back in. Pretty extensive recruitment process for Smith, looking to get into his graduate years, finding his home now at George Mason after an arduous couple weeks of scouting and playing in the lineup. And obviously Cooper didn't want to deal with the hand injury, but for obvious reasons had to get pulled out, but didn't bother the Pioneers for the most part. A 7-2 week last week. Now 2 consecutive losses in a row. Elmira still 7-3 in their last 10 as Benton misses low with a fastball A great at-bat being worked by Smith. It's a full count with 1 out, and the base is empty. Benton kicks and fires from the left side of the rubber. A ground ball into center field for a base hit. Just past the reach of the shortstop Robinson into left center. Retrieving is Briggs, who will corral it and fire back in. A 1-out single for Cooper Smith. So here comes TJ Grimesti. A .453 batting average across 17 games for TJ. He begun Wednesday night's ball game against Auburn batting .480 across 16 games. If that isn't star material, then I don't know what is. Third consecutive righty to come to the plate against Benton in the home half of the first. Elijah gives a brief look at Smith, the medium-sized leadoff at first, and fires, and the fastball cut on and missed for strike 1 from Grimesti. Santana holds the bag at first. Middle infield's at their double play depth. Madrid about 20 feet behind the bag at third. The left fielder Fox shaded more over towards the left center field gap for Grimesti. Briggs pinches over towards left center at the center field position as well. A bit of a unique defensive alignment, keeping the lines basically open for Grimesti. We've seen him spray extra base hits left, right, and center, including a 2-run double against Auburn. His last time playing the outfield at home here at Dunn Field. That came last Wednesday night, a ball game in which the Pioneers led 7-0, then had a pitching meltdown in the top of the third, one of 2 consecutive ball games with a meltdown that didn't include the Geneva Red Wings, as the Pios also gave up 7 in an inning alone against Newark last week. Luckily for the Pios' sake, it didn't hinder them. 2-1 with 1 out. Fastball popped up by Grimesti, foul out of play. So it'll be a 2-2 count to the Pioneers center fielder with 1 out, just underway here in the home half of the first. No score between the Pioneers and the Red Wings. Benton comes set from the belt, kicks and delivers, and Grimesti a line drive right at second base. A nice snare there. Throw back to first base, not in time to nab Smith, who was wandering about 20 to 30 feet off the bag and had to scurry quickly back to first after the line drive was snared by Geneva's Jules Conti. 2 away in the home half of the first. So Grimesti with a sharp line out, and that's essentially the thesis of Grimesti's plate appearances. When he's not getting on, he's getting out, but in the most unfortunate ways. Absolutely torched that off the bat, just right on a line at the Geneva second baseman. Lefty on lefty matchup as stepping off the mound to give a brief fake throw over to Smith, who's barely off of the first base bag. You typically tend to see Cooper extend himself as game gets further along. Another trait of Smith's, just an incredibly smart base runner. Was third on the Tufts Jumbos and stolen bases on the season with 11. He's got led the team in stolen bases. Third in hits as a wide throw at first base as Benton threw it past Santana, and it trickles down the right field line. Smith's going to get all the way to third, and the throw's going to come into Colin Clark at home plate. Manganiello had to get out of the lefty batter's box in the process. A 1-0 count, but as a result, Smith moves up 180 feet. And the first run of the ball game is on a platter now for Manganiello, just 90 feet away. It'll be a 1-0 with 2 outs. Lefty on lefty matchup. Kicking and firing is Benton, and the fastball misses low to Manganiello. 2-0 the count. The count with 2 outs. Pioneers with a hit, a Geneva error in the inning. Now looking to draw first blood as Benton fires and the fastball misses high and away. Manganiello takes 3 balls and no strikes. For Manganiello, a .290 batting average across 11 games, a .774 OPS. For the Northwood University product, who takes a fastball over the outside corner for a called strike. 3-1 the count. Madrid unconventionally in at the lip of the infield grass at third base, about 20 feet to the left of the bag. 3-1 with 2 outs. Fastball inside corner. Manganiello takes a called strike 2. Anthony, a brief discussion. Now we'll step back in to await a full count pitch. 2 full counts in the inning. One came to Cooper Smith, and Cooper grounded one sharply back up the middle. Manganiello now looking to follow suit and reach base. Payoff pitch with 2 outs, and the fastball misses high and away. A smart take by Anthony. He's aboard. Runners on the corners for the Pios with 2 outs in the home half of the first. So that'll bring up the second consecutive lefty to the dish, and John Simmons. Colin Clark steps outside of home plate. Directs his infield with signs. First and third for John Simmons. 3 RBIs across 14 ball games, 10 hits. Leads the Pioneers in extra base hits with 6, 5 doubles and a triple. Fastball inside corner. Simmons takes belt high for a called strike 1. Benton looking to escape the first inning unscathed. We mentioned a 1-0 record. A 7.88 ERA, however, across 8 innings of work. Pioneers offensively have gotten their batting average up to a collective 268 now, following Wednesday night's defeat to Auburn, as Simmons takes a fastball over the outside edge for a called strike 2. John a knack to see a lot of pitches early on, but does a great job working counts. The average a little bit down, but a great start for Simmons. His opening 5 to 7 ball games in Elmira. A batting average well north of 350. 0-2 with 2 outs and a wise take in the dirt. No advance attempt from Manganiello. 1-2 the count. Smith's off a third, courtesy of a single and an error from the pitcher Benton. And Manganiello walked. First free pass of the ball game offered by the Geneva southpaw 2/3 into his outing. 1-2 count with 2 outs as Benton comes set left side of the rubber. And he kicks and fires to Simmons. A swing and a miss. John's down on strikes to end the bottom of the first. So for the Pioneers, no runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and they strand 2 runners left on base. We'll take it to the second, no score, here on the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Elmira and the Pioneers Baseball Network as we head to the top of the second inning. No score between the Red Wings and the Pioneers. Centralis Health is the official healthcare provider for your Elmira Pioneers. Next time you need medical attention, make sure you visit Centralis for all your medical needs throughout the southern tier in central New York. A 1-2-3 top of the first for Brendan Hayes. He'll go to work against the middle third in the Geneva order. It'll be Aiken Santana to lead it off. First baseman batting from the right side of the plate. Second on the Red Wings in batting average for the 10 Geneva ball players in the starting lineup tonight for the visiting squad, who's opened up only winners of 4 of 19 ball games to begin 2025. A rough go for them. Winless in their opening 4 contests against Elmira, rather, opening 5 contests, winless in 4 here at Dunn Field. Fastball off the plate from Hayes, 2-1 the count. Brendan shaking his head in excitement. Feeling good with the fastball, and the breaking ball now gets lined into center field for a base hit. So the first base runner of the ball game, it comes on a single off the bat of the Geneva first baseman. He's aboard with nobody out. Hayes, the potential of an absolute nasty sweeper. Not only potential, he can locate it, and we've seen it frequently, especially in last week's ball game against Geneva. Hangs one there about belt high, and Santana, no stranger to getting on base. A .424 on-base percentage, second on the Red Wings in that category. It'll bring up the right-handed hitting Jack Turner, who squares to bunt and now lays one beautifully down the first base line. Hayes rushes off the mound, bobbles it, underhand feed to first, and it's off the glove of Palmer. And now it trickles into foul territory. Advancing up to third is Santana. Turner up to second. He'll get there. It'll be in E3 on Michael Palmer, which allows Turner to reach. Santana up to third, and now Turner to second. So a hit and an error in the inning have Geneva set up runners on second and third with nobody out. You appreciate the stick-to-itiveness from Hayes there. The emotions of your heart racing coming off the mound, having just thrown a pitch about 20 to 30 feet to the left of the rubber. Comes down, has his momentum taking him, and he underhand flips to Palmer, and you'd like to see Mike come up with the play there as a fastball over the outside corners taken for a called strike by the right-handed hitting J.D. Robinson. Geneva shortstop batting .222 on the season. Santana's off a third. Turner is off a second. A hit and an error against Hayes in the inning. An inning plus strong. 3 consecutive batters retired for Geneva in the top of the third, or top of the first. As fastball just misses off the plate. 1-1 the count. Outfield's at medium depth. The base hit would score 2. 0-1. That one lined foul. 0-2 the count. Must have been a nice catch over in the stands. You can hear some people. The netting only cuts off at just about 10 feet to the right of home plate. So somebody must have had a nice snare. On the night of the NHL draft, I guess somebody might need a hockey goalie. This one punched into shallow right field. On comes the charging Smith and the second baseman Moniz, who now dives in foul territory to snare it. It'll be an RBI single in no man's land. 2 hits in the inning against Hayes, and Geneva now has taken a 1-0 lead. So still nobody out in the inning. 2 hits for the Red Wings, who now plate the game's first run. An RBI single, a bloop floater into shallow right field off the bat of J.D. Robinson. Turner advances to third. Runners on the corners with nobody out. Dubek with a solid arm, and that'll bring up the right-handed hitting Michael Lucci. Righty-on-righty matchup, Geneva EH digs in with nobody out. Hayes comes set right side of the rubber. Medium-sized lead for Turner, who now takes off. Dubek's going to fire down to second. Moniz intercepts. He's coming home. Throw to the plate. Tag applied, and now it's dropped by Dubek, so the run scores in Turner, and that's a backbreaker for the Pioneers as Dubek had the tag on. No argument from him because Brandon just simply dropped it. So a 2-0 lead for the Red Wings as their dugout's going crazy, and now Dubek comes out to the mound to talk with Hayes and Moniz, and likely a conversation to say, hey, sorry about that one. 2-0 lead now for Geneva. Another runner in scoring position. As Turner crosses the plate, Robinson advances to second. So not the start that Brendan Hayes and the Pioneers wanted in this second inning. They're down by 2 to the second to worst team in the PGCBL. Only 4 wins in 19 ball games, and that's silenced the crowd here in Elmira on what was a really nice attempted double steal pickoff by Jacob Moniz. Ran in to intercept it. like a strong safety, did so effectively, made a nice throw to home plate, and it looked like they would have nabbed Turner had Dubek kept the tag on. 1-2, or 1-1 with nobody out. There's a called strike over the outside corner. Uchi takes, it's 1-2. We mentioned Uchi. Last saw him appear on the mound versus the Pioneers back on June 17th, and Dubek, who sitting right behind him at home plate right now, got the high heater from Uchi on a 2-2 count and drove it deep to center field to clinch a ball game victory for the Pioneers then. Fastball outside corner for a called strike 2. So it'll be a 1-2 with nobody out as Hayes comes set right side of the rubber. Spin and fire and a swing and a miss. Uchi down on strikes. As Mike, a couple words for the plate umpire as he departs. One out in the top of the second. So Uchi struck out, and that'll bring up the righty hitting third baseman Jaden Madrid. With one out, Pioneers still not out of the woods yet. 2 runs on 2 hits and an error against the righty Hayes through a third of an inning. A high pop-up from Madrid, back behind the plate. Dubek gives it a stare, and it's going to go out of play into the stands. 0-1 the count. Pioneers would like to thank Council Rock Wealth Advisory Group, Current Power Sports, Dandy Mini Marts, Dr. Susan Minchin, DDS, Elm Chevy, Elmira Heat Treating, and Elmira Impact for their loyal sponsorship throughout the course of the 2025 season. 0-1 the count with one out to the right-handed hitting Jada Madrid. As leading off at second base is J.D. Robinson, the Geneva shortstop, has scored a bunt from Madrid. He lays it down right in front of the plate. Hayes charges in. Bare hands, fires to first just in time to nab the hustling Madrid for out number 2. Advancing to third in the process is Robinson, but 2 outs in the Pioneers with their chance for the ender, with the catcher Colin Clark stepping to the dish. So with 2 outs, it's the righty swinging Clark, batting .300 on the season. Unconventional that you see a catcher batting that high, but we mentioned the rotation of catchers for the Pioneers. 4 inserted into the lineup. Dubek, who's only started in 7 games, gets the nod behind the plate for Elmira tonight, as the sweeper just misses off the outside corner. Hayes and the Pios wanted that call. 1-0 the count. 2 runs on 2 hits and 1 error for the Red Wings. No runs on 1 hit and 1 error for the Pioneers. Just relatively underway. Still top of the second inning. A lot of breathing room for the Pioneers to come back, who offensively are a little bit slow in their last 2 ball games. As a swing and a miss there, 1-1 count to Clark. Pioneers only 2 runs in their last 14 innings, attributing to their 0-2 record against Jamestown and Auburn. Back into the doubleheader, lost 4-1 on Sunday. A great start by Jamestown's Nick Ianiello after Christian Pensick was roughed up in his second outing of the season against the Pioneers. That came in Game 1, a 5-3 Elmira victory. So it'll be a 2-1 count with 2 out. As Hayes comes set, Robinson leads off a third. Kicking and delivering and inducing a swing and a miss is Hayes. A nice sweeper there through the Geneva catcher off balance. 2-2 the count. Pioneers looking to limit the damage at just 2. Hayes doing a nice job of staying out of trouble. Did his job to get the error as now he clips Clark high in the helmet as Clark's going to take a couple steps down the first base line and now go to the bag as Geneva's dugout with a couple words. So an obvious unintentional hit batsman as Thomas Eaton, the manager for the Red Wings, will now go out and check Colin Clark at first base. So rounding out the batting order, it'll be Dylan Briggs, the center fielder for Geneva, in tonight's ball game. Briggs batting .160 on the season, a low .504 OPS. Momentarily, it's more about checking in on the health of Colin Clark. Catcher for the Red Wings seems to be okay as he'll take his spot at first base. Only 1 physical error committed by the Pioneers in the inning, but 2 errors when you all break it down when all's said and done, because if you're Brandon Dubek, you cannot be dropping a potential second out at home plate, with the opportunity to then keep it a one-run ball game after the throwing error, or rather lack thereof, the one that trickled off of Robinson's glove. A long lead off of second, and now what does Hayes do? He's going to get him in a rundown, the throw back to Colin Clark at first, and the tag applied by Palmer. The run did come in to score, though, and the home plate umpire says it counts, so it'll be a 3-0 Geneva lead. So in the inning, 3 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and as a result, 1 runner left on base. We'll head to the home half of the second. Geneva up by 3 here on the Pioneers Baseball Network. The Pioneers would like to thank Finger Lakes Federal Credit Union, FM Howell, Glove House, Guthrie, Hesselson's, Hilliard, and Jubilee for their loyal sponsorships for the 2025 season. 3-0 Geneva leads as we enter the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Michael Palmer to step to the dish. And Mike takes the fastball low and away, 1-0 the count. Lefty on lefty matchup. Pioneers didn't score in the bottom of the first inning. 2 runners reached base. They were threatening, had runners on first and third. No one to cross the plate just yet as Benton misses low with a fastball. 2-0 the count. A rough top half of the second inning has 6 batters come to the plate for Geneva. The inning ends as Colin Clark, the catcher who just got plunked by Brendan Hayes, got nabbed in a rundown, but in the process coming in to score was the shortstop J.D. Robinson as the 2-0 fastball is fired in for a called strike. Benton to Palmer with the bases empty and no one out. Home half of the second. Elmira and Geneva squaring off for the 5th time this season. Pioneers facing their second largest deficit versus the Red Wings on the year. We're down 5-1 against Geneva back on June 17th. Fastball clips the outside corner. Palmer in anticipation of that fastball being low and away with a slight Head nod in disagreement. 2-2 the count with nobody out. As Benton comes set from the left side of the rubber. Geneva southpaw working from the windup, kicks and fires. Fastball misses high. It's a full count to Palmer. Mike on the season batting .292 across 9 ball games, 8 starts. A .458 slug percentage. 7 hits, an extra base hit, and a homer. As he takes a fastball low, that's ball 4. Second walk of the ball game issued for Elijah Benton. He walked Manganiello in the bottom of the first. Pioneers cleanup hitter, and now Pioneers 6-hole hitter get walked. So Palmer will increase upon that. .452 on-base percentage, which is third in the Pioneers for all Elmira players who have appeared in 8 ball games or more on the season. That'll bring up Rhode Island College's Jacob Moniz. Jacob formerly a teammate of the newcomer Brett Baker as well. That's where Brett Baker, Sam Watson, Jacob Moniz all have their connections together. Lefty on righty matchup with an increasing lead for Palmer off the first base bag with nobody out. Kicking and firing, and a letter-high fastball swung on and missed from Moniz for strike 1. Moniz spoke with me last week about team camaraderie, said it's just so fitting. If you heard Eugene Barber in our pregame availability day, he had a conversation about all these guys from different spots in the country coming together and having to mesh quickly. And yesterday, indicative of the results the Pioneers have been achieving on the field, just this loose atmosphere all around that's allowed Elmira to play with such confidence lately. As we mentioned, 11 wins in their last 15 ball games, as Moniz takes an outside corner fastball for a called strike 2. 3 runs on 2 hits and 1 error for the Red Wings. No runs on 1 hit and 1 error for your Pioneers. 0-2 with nobody out. Palmer leads off at first, and the breaking ball misses low and away. 1-2 the count. A bit of a spot start night for the Geneva Red Wings and Benton, similar to what the Pioneers threw out there with Nolan Terwilliger on Wednesday night. That came in the loss to Auburn. 1-2 with nobody out, and Moniz off the end of the bat, shallow right field. In charges Turner, a dive, and he makes a nice catch for out number 1. So Jacobs retired, hit it off the end of the bat, caught the soft spot. So 1 out and a runner on, and that'll bring up Brandon Dubeck, also known as the Geneva Killer, if you would like to call him that. 9 RBIs across 7 games, so a very small sample size, but a lot of production considering a bit of a lower batting average. .222 on the season for Brandon, who steps in from the right side against the lefty Benton with 1 out. Middle infield at double play depth, outfield at medium depth. Dubeck looking to do damage. First offering to Brandon is a breaking ball, catches the outside corner at the letters for a called strike 1. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Only a strikeout through an inning and a third for Elijah Benton. Rocks and fires off the end of the bat, popped up. First base side, Aiken Santana ranges over in foul territory with room near the warning track, just about 20 feet to the right of the Pioneers' dugout. Puts it away for out number 2. Dubeck's retired on a P3. So 2 quick counts after Palmer walks, and that'll bring up Shane Starr. Starr looking to start to get rolling with the hits, batting .105 on the season across 5 ball games, 19 plate appearances for Shane. 2 hits, a double, and an RBI. Lefty on lefty matchup. Benton kicks and fires, and the fastball misses inside. 1-0 the count. Benton comes set. Palmer increases his lead off at first. 1-0. This one chopped on the ground to Santana. Remains in fair territory. Bobbled by Santana. He recovers, steps on the bag in time to conclude the bottom of the second. For the Pioneers, no runs and no hits, no errors, and a runner left on base. We'll take it to the third. Geneva leads 3-0 here on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Pioneers trail 3-0 as we enter the top of the third inning. Pioneers would like to thank just in time Kahuna's, Kennedy Valve, M&T Bank, Martha Lloyd Community Services, Ma's Cheesy Dreams, and McDonald's. Would recommend the Ma's pulled pork platter from Ma's Cheesy Dreams. A really fantastic lunch spot and a great lunch catered here earlier to the Elmira Pioneers. It'll be the 10-1-2 in the Geneva order to come to the plate. In the top of the third inning against the right-hander, Brendan Hayes. We were mentioning what an ironic sport baseball was earlier. A Geneva team that's been downtrodden. They begun 1-14 in their opening 15 ball games. Took them till their 9th game to earn their first victory. That came north of the border against the Niagara Ironbacks. Pioneers got things started on Wednesday night with an 11-1 loss against the Auburn Doubledays. That same Auburn Doubledays team that could be in first place by the end of the night when all's said and done in the PGCBL West Division. As Hayes fires a strike and now a fastball off the plate. 1-1 the count to Briggs. Briggs assuming his at-bat after Colin Clark got picked off to end the top of the second. In the process, J.D. Robinson came in to score, so beautifully executed as intentionally trying to get picked off, shall I say. Not plunked was Clark, who did get plunked, but got picked off the first base bag. Bought enough time to allow J.D. Robinson to score, which was the third run of the inning against Hayes, and only 2 hits and 2 costly errors, 1 physical, 1 mental by the Pioneers. Both you could say physical. 1 counts in the score sheet, and that's what has them down 3-0. But my point about Geneva, an 11-1 win over Auburn at home last night. Both Geneva and Elmira in the ballgame have sent 10 batters to the plate. 3 runs for Geneva, none for the Pioneers, as Elmira has gotten 2 base runners on in the first 2 innings. 2 walks issued by Elijah Benton so far. 2 walks and a strikeout. His base on balls to K ratio, as he's only allowed 1 Pioneer hit through 2 innings. That came off the bat of Cooper Smith. It'll be a payoff pitch to Briggs, rounding out the batting order with nobody out, and Briggs takes a called strike 3 over the inside corner. Beautifully froze with a slider there for Brendan Hayes. That's strikeout number 3 in the ball game. Through 2 1/3, he's had a strikeout in each one of the first 3 innings. That'll bring it back to the top of the batting order in Zach Banks. We mentioned Zach's struggles against the Pioneers this season continued to be exploited with a flyout to deep center off of Hayes in the top of the first. Banks, a guy who can really swing it, indicative of his batting average on the season. We alluded to his .407 torrid pace with the Geneva Red Wings, 2nd consecutive summer playing under the tutelage of manager Thomas Eaton as he takes a fastball high and away from Hayes. 1-0 the count. 3 runs on 2 hits and an error for Geneva. No runs on 1 hit and 1 error for the Pioneers. Dubek wanted that called strike. A bit of a bluff behind home plate. Hayes shakes his head. Dubek a brief conversation. 2-0 the count. Pioneers, as we have mentioned before, found late inning magic against Geneva. Relatively quiet ball game last Thursday. One that Brendan Hayes kept them in. He's looking to do the same here. 2-0, chopped on the ground to second. A high hop for Moniz, who handles it and throws to first in time to retire the hustling Banks for out number 2. So 2 quick outs with the bases empty here in the visitors' half of the third inning, and that'll bring Jules Conti to the plate. Conti, 1 of 3 strikeout victims in the ball game against Hayes through 8 outs of work. For the Barry University right-hander, who primarily appeared in relief for the Buccaneers on the season, 1 of 3 Pioneers out of Barry, as he'll face Conti in a ready-on-ready matchup with 2 outs. Simmons comes in at the first base bag and a swing and a miss. A big cut from Conti. He was way ahead of the breaking ball from Hammer. So the count's 0-1. As Brendan, working quickly with all kinds of confidence, delivers a breaking ball just south of the letters off the inside corner. 1-1 the count. Left to right in the outfield for the Pioneers, a really staunch defensive alignment. You have Shane Starr, who's a perfect 1,000 field percentage in lefts. Grimesti, as you know, who can fly. He's the captain of the outfield tonight in center as Hayes delivers a breaking ball for a called strike. Steady diet of sweepers here in the at-bat against Conti, who was frozen on 3 pitches against Hayes in the top of the first. Cooper Smith's over and right for the Pios. A swing and a miss, going right back to the breaking ball. The good stuff from Hayes to retire the side 1-2-3 in order. For Geneva, no runs on no hits, no errors, and no runners left on base. 2.5 through, Red Wings lead 3-0 on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Elmira, home half of the third inning for the Pioneers, as it'll be Vincent Favada, followed by Eddie Grabowski and Cooper Smith, the 10-1-2 in the Elmira order to come to the plate. Pios fans, are you hungry and looking for an amazing place to eat, get great drinks, and incredible service? Well, then be sure to come to Texas Roadhouse, open till 10 p.m. on the weekdays, 11 p.m. on weekends on County Route 64 in Horseheads. Benton kicks and fires from the left side of the rubber. Favada swinging out of his shoes. 4-strike 1. Vinny trying to pounce on Benton's heater over the outer half of the dish. Only a hit so far through 2+ innings of work against the Red Wings southpaw, making his first appearance of the season off the bump against the Pioneers. Fires a fastball low. Vinny takes 2-0 the count. Favada, a lean 6'1", 160-pound prospect committed to Mount St. Mary's University. The Syosset, New York native, only one Long Island ball player on this Pioneers team, as Vincent stands in and fouls back the next offering. 1-2 the count. Benton, we've seen him be a little bit wild. It's so unique to see pitchers who are in the zone that have all their different elements of a unique arsenal that could potentially possess, but with a throw over to first, not to imply or insinuate that Benton could have the yips by any stretch of the imagination, as the fastball just misses off the outside corner. Clark and Geneva were harmonious in agreement over a called strike for a brief conversation between Eaton and home plate umpire in the Red Wings dugout. 2-2 the count, with nobody out, but we've seen Benton miss with a couple wild pitches earlier on in counts. I'd like to see the Pioneers get a couple runners on base. Pop up first base side. Santana gives it a look near the Elmira dugout. Sills behind. So the count remains 2-2. And a good at bat being worked by the EH Favada, who rounds out the Pioneers batting order. You've also seen Vince get some starts in left field this year for Elmira. Once again, as we alluded to earlier in the broadcast, a jam-packed outfield, especially now with the addition of Brett Baker. Certainly doesn't hurt to have him. We mentioned his lengthy resume with the Corsairs across 3 seasons, as the fastball misses inside to Favada. A great at-bat being worked. 6-pitch quality at-bat by Favada. It'll be a payoff pitch with the bases empty and nobody out. Pioneers trail by 3. Here in the home half of the third. Favada leans out and taps it on the ground to second. A bit of a hop handle, throw to first, not in time. Favada beats it out. An infield single. As Vincent's aboard with nobody out here in the home half of the third. So the first hit since the bottom of the first inning for the Pioneers when Cooper Smith reached on a single. Now it's back to the top of the batting order, and Aiden Grabowski. A great at-bat there by Vincent Favada. Poked a couple pitches foul and then taps one out to the second baseman, Conti, who had a bit of a bobble, ruled by our scorer Ben Leary a hit, and rightfully so, as Favada was really booking it down the line. Medium-sized leadoff at first for the righty swinging Aiden Grabowski, who popped up on 3 pitches against Benton to open up the ball game, and Aiden takes a fastball outside, 1-0 the count. The sky's the limit for the recent graduate of Tiffin University, a 4-year ball player with the Dragons, taking his talents now to a second season in the soaring capital of the world. Runner takes off, that's Favada. Sharp ground ball, skirts past Madrid into left field at third, as now Favada thinks about taking the turn and advancing. Fogg stabs it in front of him, and he'll corral it back into the infield. 2 runners on for the Pios with nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Jaden Madrid, typically an astute defensive fielder, but that hit the lip of the grass and worked perfectly. A fortuitous bounce for the Pioneers. They're not complaining. They'll take it. Favada will be off of second. And Grabowski, who singled, will be off of first. Aiden consistently contributing to the Pioneers lineup. So 2 hits in the inning to open up. Pioneers now 3 hits through 2+ innings, and it's popped up. And Clark snares it. Not what Smith was intending to do as he pops it straight up. Clark came about 10 feet out of his crouch, stepped right in front of home plate, and put it away for out number 1. So the tying run was at the plate, and Smith, it remains at the plate now for TJ Gramesti, who's the Pioneers' RBI leader. The RBI race for the Pioneers incredibly close. You have TJ Gramesti with 12, Anthony Manganiello with 11, and Aiden Grabowski at 10. 1 out in the bottom of the third. Pioneers trail by 3. Lefty on righty matchup as Benton kicks and fires, and the fastball misses off the plate. 1-0 the count. So Smith, an unusual pop-up after he singled in the bottom of the first. Play goes P2. Second pop-up of the ball game that Clark's had to snare. A skyscraper behind home plate from Grabowski, and there a light one, which emphasized the athleticism of the Geneva catcher, who had to pop up quickly out of his crouch and put it away. Santana is just about even with the bag at first, playing just in front of Grabowski. Madrid about 10 feet behind the bag at third. 2-0 with 1 out, and the fastball misses low and away to Gramesti. 3-0 the count. TJ, a patient eye at the plate, executing fantastic offensive numbers overall. Second highest batting average in the PGCBL, and for Gramesti, his on-base percentage entering tonight's ball game at .574. 3-0 the count with nobody out. Benton rocks and fires. Inside corner, called strike. Gramesti, not thrilled, was asking plate umpire a question. I think the Pioneers dugout was shocked as well. So it'll be a 3-1 with 1 out. Favada leads off a second. Grabowski leads off a first. Pioneers looking to cut into the deficit. Good fastball count for Gramesti. We'll look to see if he sits dead red in the zone, as TJ is going to call time, step out of the box to momentarily gather himself. TJ, a great rapport behind the plate, not only with the pitching staff but with umpires, has a knack for feeling out the situation. Awaits a 3-1, lines it deep down the left field line. That's headed towards the corner, just foul. So a good piece by Gramesti, who is just out in front of it as he taps it about 315 feet in foul territory. 3-2 the count with 1 out. Third full count being worked by an Elmira Pioneer through 2 1/3 innings of work for Elijah Benton, who is not necessarily coasting through 2 innings of action, still faced 9 Pioneers. 9 Pioneer batters, that is, across 2 innings. One look at Favada off a second, deals the payoff pitch, rolled on the ground, just foul past third base. Was waiting on the plate umpire's indication. Kind of an awkward mixed reaction from the crowd in anticipation of what the call was going to be. As home plate ump signals it went west of the third base bag, which hence would obviously make it a foul ball, and it does. So it'll be another payoff pitch on the way to Gramesti with 1 out. Pios with 2 hits in the inning, 3 hits in the ball game, still yet to draw their first blood against the Southpaw Benton. Payoff pitch incoming with one out. Favada leads off a second, Grabowski off a first, and Benton kicks in, fires fastball off the plate, ball 4. Bases loaded for Elmira with one out. Three runs on 2 hits and 1 error for Geneva. For the Pioneers, no runs on 3 hits and 1 error. Here comes Anthony Manganiello, who has a knack for the big situation with the bases loaded. Remember his 3-run double in the bottom of the first off of Hunter Lefkis of the Double Days last Wednesday. Lefkis faring incredibly well against the Pioneers on Wednesday night. Went 6 innings of 1-run baseball. As Sean Ladd out to the mound now to have a conversation with Benton, who's also served in the DH role for the Pioneers. The Elmira Pioneers would like to thank Myers RV, Nucor, Papa John's, Pathways, Pizza Hut, Red Robin, and Rodney J. Strange for their loyal sponsorship for the 2025 season. It'll be Manganiello the lefty against Benton the lefty. A cool Friday evening, 5th matchup of the season between the Pioneers and the Red Wings. Elmira will see Geneva 3 more times, all in Geneva at Sal Maloney Field from McDonough Park. One game next Sunday on July 6th, the 5:30 p.m. start time, a Tuesday, July 15th affair, and the final game to close out a 46-game regular season slate. That'll conclude on Sunday, July 27th. Hopefully, by then the Pioneers could have their playoff ticket punched. Again, way too early to assume anything. Only 19 games in. Yes, you have at the moment a 2.5-game lead over the 5th-place Newark Pilots, but 2.5 games with 27 remaining is still a lot of time left up to be made, especially when you have a doubleheader against those very same Newark Pilots next Friday. Bases loaded with 1 out. Manganiello fouls back the first offering, 0-1 the count. From Benton to the Pioneers' designated hitter. Favada leads off a third. Grabowski in the leadoff spot off a second. Grimesti, who just drew a walk, leads off a first. 0-1 from Benton to Manganiello with 1 out. A swing and a miss from Anthony. Back throw to first, and it goes wide of Santana. Now coming to the plate is Favada. He'll score, so we'll take an error. It's off the glove of Santana, which allows the Pios to get on the board. It's now 3-1. Grabowski advances to third base in the process. Second error through 2 1/3 innings of work for Eliza Benton. And it's an E1 on the back pick there from the catcher, Clark. So it's going to remain an 0-2 count with 1 out. To Manganiello as Favada comes in to score. Grabowski's off a third. Grimesti remains off of first. Very heads-up play there from Vincent Favada. Pios trail by 2. That one's lined down the right field line. Just foul. Manganiello got a nice piece of it and absolutely roped it. But he'll remain in the box to await another 0-2 offering. So second error committed by Geneva in the ball game. A run on 2 hits and an error. And we're only a third of the way through the inning momentarily. Grabowski off third, Grimesti off of first. The 2 Gs of this Pioneers team towards the top of the order, getting it done offensively. Grimesti takes off for second. 0-2, that one line caught by Santana at first. He's going to step on the bag for an inning-ending double play. In the inning for Elmira, 1 run on 2 hits, an error, and they strand 2 runners left on base. We'll take it to the 4th. Geneva ahead by 2 on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Pioneers trail 3-1 as we enter the top of the fourth inning. It's Chase Fogg, the righty, to step in against Brendan Hayes, who's allowed 2 earned runs. 3 runs have come in to score on 4 hits for Brendan in the ball game. He's fared nicely, however. Striking out 3 Red Wings. It's the 3, 4, and 5 in the Geneva order to come to the plate here in the top of the fourth as Fogg steps in and takes a called strike 2, a fastball and now a breaking ball. 0-2 with nobody out and the base is empty. Fogg followed by Santana and Turner. Hayes comes set and delivers. Chopped on the ground, foul. Out of play, nothing in 2, it remains. So the Pioneers could have had something cooking. First and third with 1 out. A run had come in to score on the error from Aiken Santana. Grimesti was taken off for second. Looking to steal another base, Manganiello lined one right to Santana, who caught it, stepped on the bag at first for an inning-ending 3 unassisted double play. There's a swing and a miss from Fogg for out number 1 in the top of the fourth. Already the 4th strikeout for Brendan, 4th consecutive inning to open up the ball game for Hayes with at least 1 strikeout. So with the bases empty and 1 out, that'll bring up Aiken Santana, .353 batting average for the Embry-Riddle University sophomore, as the breaking ball from Hayes just misses off the plate. 1-0 the count. For Geneva, 3 runs on 2 hits and 1 error for your Pioneers. Rather, 2 errors for the Red Wings. For the Pioneers, they have 1 run on 3 hits and 1 error. 2-0 coming with 1 out, righty on righty matchup, and missing way outside is Hayes. 3-0 the count to Santana. Pioneers would like to thank Saratoga Eagle, Save a Lot, ServiceMaster, ServPro, ServU Credit Union, Shedden's Wholesale, and Solutions Credit Union for their loyal sponsorship in the 2025 season. Hayes comes set, right side of the rubber, kicks and delivers a breaking ball. Catches the knees for a called strike. 3-1 the count to Santana. Ready and ready matchup, 3-1 with 1 out. Breaking ball misses just high for ball 4 to Santana. Second walk issued in the ball game by Hayes across 3 1/3, as Santana will scoot down to first. A runner on with 1 out. For Santana, it's his second time reaching base in the ball game, making up nicely for the 1 error he committed in the bottom of the 3rd, an unearned run so far against the name of Elijah Benton, who's hung in nicely for a spot start. First time seeing this very potent offensive lineup for the Elmira Pioneers. I say potent, especially in the sense that they haven't found their true potential yet against the Geneva Red Wings. The Red Wings pitching has stymied them, to say the least, across 4 ball games this season. Their highest scoring affair was an 11-run ball game, a makeup from June 8th, one which the Pioneers won by 8 runs, but it was slow sledding in 2 of the 4 victories, a 3-2 win here last Thursday, and then you go back as a fastball just misses low. 1-1 the count to Turner. Hayes visibly frustrated with some of the calls here from our home plate umpire, feeling like he's spotting up nicely. Some nice frame jobs executed in the process by Brandon Dubeck as well. Santana with a medium-sized lead off of first base with 1 out. Middle infield plays at their regular depth. Hayes a snap throw back to the first base bag. Palmer snares it, blocks it like a hockey goalie. Mike had the lone error of the ball game, which allowed Geneva to cross the plate as Aiken Santana scored in the second, part of a 3-run, 2-hit, 1-error inning for the Red Wings. All their runs coming in that aforementioned top of the second against Geneva. Swing and a miss, throw down to second base, unable to be picked on a hop by Moniz, who was covering the bag. Grabowski back behind him. It's a stolen bag for Santana. A swing and a miss from Turner. 1-2 the count with 1 out, but Santana in the process advances into scoring position. So 2 walks and 4 strikeouts, 3 runs on 2 earned, and 4 hits is Brendan Hayes' line so far. He's kept the pitch count relatively economical. As it's a righty and ready matchup, he gets set to fire a 1-2 with 1 out. Outfield's at relatively medium depth. Star playing a bit deeper in left field, courtesy of the pull side power for Jack Turner, who swings and misses through an outside breaking ball there. Hayes with his second strikeout of the inning, 5th of the ball game, and looks to get out of the inning unscathed now. 3 2/3 into his outing. Pioneers trail by 2. It'll bring up J.D. Robinson, Geneva shortstop in the 6th hole this evening, who singled and came around to score in the second. So it's Robinson against Hayes, with Moniz holding Santana almost like a first baseman there for 5 seconds as Hayes, a brief couple looks and a fly ball into center field. Charging in is Grimesti. He settles under it. The call and the catch. Side is retired in the top of the 4th inning. So for Geneva, they have a base runner that they don't score. No runs and no hits, no errors, and a runner left on base. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Geneva ahead by 2 on the Pioneers Baseball Network. The Elmira Pioneers would like to thank Southern Tier Custom Fabricators, Swan Morse Insurance, Texas Roadhouse, Tom South Corning, United States Army Vasco Brands, and Visions Federal Credit Union for their loyal sponsorship for the 2025 season. Welcome back to the Pioneers Baseball Network. Farrell Hudson as Geneva leads by 2 runs. As we head to the home half of the 4th, it's John Simmons, lefty-on-lefty matchup, taking a breaking ball, low and away from Benton, 1-0 the count. John, in his first trip to the plate, struck out swinging against the aforementioned southpaw for Geneva, who has that as his lone strikeout across 3+ innings of work. Fires the 1-0, fastball low and away, 2-0 the count. It'll be the 5, 6, and 7 in the Pioneers' order to step to the dish. Against Benton in the 4th, Simmons followed by Michael Palmer, the first baseman, and Jacob Moniz. Simmons out of Liberty University. Team leader in extra base hits for the Pioneers. Fouls the next offering back. 2-1 the count. Looked like a bit of an off-speed pitch there, taking some life off the breaking ball on the lower third. Was Benton. So 2-1 the count with nobody out. Geneva 3 runs on 2 hits and 2 errors for the Pioneers. A run on 3 hits and 1 error. Glad you're spending part of your Friday night with us on the Pioneers Baseball Network. 2-1 way inside. It almost clipped Simmons as John had to duck out of the way, and he steps out of the lefty batter's box. 3-1 the count. We mentioned just the inning before how Benton doesn't mean to at all. He's pitching a great ball game so far for Geneva, and obviously unintentional there, but can sometimes lose his control very quick. Pioneers hope, for the sake of their case tonight, it serves as a benefit for them. And it does here as it's ball 4 to Simmons, a 5-pitch walk to open up the home half of the 4th. For Benton in the ball game, he's already issued 4 walks in as many innings, 3+ innings of work, that is. Brendan Hayes, for a second consecutive outing, has looked really good. 2 earned runs across 4 innings of 2-walk, 5-strikeout baseball. Pioneers right-hander's been doing it also with the fastball tonight. You've seen that nasty sweeper. It's been mixed so frequently back into his rotation, a mainstay in his arsenal. As Palmer spanks one on the ground past Santana at first base down the right field line. It's going to roll into the corner. Rounding second and burning for third base is Simmons. He'll get there. It's a no-out double for Michael Palmer as he stands up at second, claps his fists towards the third base coaching box and Andy Drum. Pios are set up second and third with nobody out. So for Elmira, it's hit number 4 in the ball game. Jacob Moniz steps to the dish, right-handed hitter, batting .292 on the season. Flew out to Jack Turner in shallow right, who made an unbelievable diving catch. Geneva's going to bring their infield in. A base hit likely scores 2 with the speed of the first baseman Palmer off of second. It's Simmons off of third, Palmer off of second. Palmer representing the tying run. Lefty on ready matchup as Benton comes set. Left side of the rubber, a peek at Palmer off of second. Kicks and fires and swung on and missed from Moniz. A nice breaking ball from Benton that had good sweep over the outer half of the plate. 0-1. Oh, 1 from Benton. Fastball misses high and away. Good take by Moniz. 1-1 the count. For Jacob, 24 plate appearances on the season, 7 hits and 3 RBIs across 8 ball games. Next offering, Jacob. A high fly ball to right field. Jack Turner settles under it. Simmons will tag from third. Turner makes the catch. Simmons is coming plateward. The throw to the plate. Tag applied by Clark. Not in time. A sac fly off the bat of Jacob Moniz. Advancing to third is Palmer in the process. Pios draw a little bit closer. They now trail by a run with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. So the sac fly by Moniz, productive. He plates home another run. Here's Brandon Dobeck with 1 out. Pios were down 3-0. Looking to complete momentarily the 3-run comeback here and get back to safe haven. First offering with 1 out to the right-handed hitting Dobeck is a fastball high and away from Benton. 1-0 the count. Geneva infield comes in. 1-0 offering, breaking ball. Misses down and away. 2-0 the count to Dobeck. Four hits for the Pioneers across 3 1/3 innings against Elijah Benton. Dobeck popped out in foul territory to Santana, his first trip to the plate. Firmly in command here, as seemingly losing a bit of his edge for the strike zone is the left-hander Benton. It'll be a 2-0 with 1 out. Breaking ball misses high and away. 3-0 the count. A nice Friday night. Good crowd here on hand to watch hopefully another comeback by the Pioneers. They have been the comeback kids here at Dunn Field. Trailed by 4 runs against Auburn, earned their first victory of the season here at home. That game just 17 days ago. Pios starting 0-3. Always remained positive through the process. And are now once again pressing for more. Still trailed by a run as Dobeck takes fastball outside corner for a called strike. Good hitters count here with 1 out. Pios looking to even up the game. Dobeck fouls back the next offering with Palmer extending his lead off a third. It'll be a full count with 1 out. Elmira 2 consecutive innings with at least 1 run plated. Pioneers drew their first run across in the bottom of the 3rd inning, courtesy of an error for making Santana an unattempted back pick from the catcher Colin Clark on the speedy TJ Grimesti, who had a wide 20-foot lead off the first base bag. Payoff pitch with 1 out is low in the dirt. Dobeck takes for ball 4, and that's exactly why he's inserted into the lineup tonight against a very young and inexperienced left-hander in Benton, who arrived in Geneva about 5 games into the season, and apparently Thomas Eaton's seen enough. 3 1/3 innings is what's going to do it for Benton as Starr steps to the plate. Eaton will make a pitching change. Geneva leads 3-2, 1 out. Home half of the 4th. Pios are pressing for more. It'll be Palmer off of third and Dobeck off of first for Shane Starr when we return here on the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. Pios trail 3-2, and Elijah Benton convinces his skipper to keep him in the ballgame for this lefty-on-lefty matchup with one out. It's Shane Starr with a chance to tie the ball game up. Fastball at the knees. Starr takes for a called strike one. It's Palmer off of third, Dubeck off of first. One out, home half of the fourth. Pioneers did trail by 3 as they entered the home half of the third. A formidable outing through the opening 4 innings for Brendan Hayes. Pioneers will look to keep it that way as the fastball misses just high and away from Benton. 1-1 the count. Benton, who was nicely coasting through 2 innings of work, gave up a hit, walked 2, but was keeping the Pioneers relatively off balance, has now not found his groove entirely like he did the opening 2 innings. Through an inning and a third, 2 runs have come in to score, 3 hits for the Pioneers in the last 4 outs recorded by Geneva Red Wings. So it'll be a 2-1 pitch to Starr with 1 out. Madrid about 20 feet to the left of the third base bag, in at the lip of the infield grass. This one grounded up the middle. Let's see if Geneva can turn 2. Stepping, flipping on the bag. 1 on to first, not in time. It's a fielder's choice. A run scores. RBI for Starr, and the ball game's tied up at 3. So Dubeck gets washed at second. Starr reaches for the first time in the ball game. Pios not the game even at 3. 2 outs in the home half of the fourth. Benton will remain in the ball game for Vinny Favada, rounding out the Pioneers' batting order. So it's Favada with 2 outs, lefty and righty matchup. A medium-sized lead off of first for Starr. First offering, fastball just inside. Vinny takes 1-0 the count. Home plate umpire calls time as Clark stepped out in front of the dish to prevent Starr from advancing. 3-all the score. Pioneers up 2 in the hit column. Geneva 2 errors through 3 2/3 innings of work. Made 5 errors in the June 8th ball game. An eventual 11-3 loss for the Red Wings. A game in which Geneva had a 3-1 lead here in the second. A wild pitch from Benton rolls to the backstop. Starr motors up to second. A wide turn around second. He'll stop right there. Pioneers will take it. He advances into scoring position with 2 outs. Favada batting .091 on the season, but only 3 starts, 4 games. The epitome of a small sample size. 11 plate appearances, 2 runs, 1 hit, no extra base hits, no RBIs. A good opportunity here for his first of the season, one that would put the Pioneers in front in this critical game. Elmira attempting to salvage victory and snap a 2-game losing skid. Starr a wide lead off a second, and the fastball misses high and away. A prudent take from Favada. 3-0 the count. One look at second, kicking and firing. A fastball over the outside corner is Benton for a called strike one. We'd like to thank everyone who loyally comes out to Dunn Field to support your back-to-back West Division champ Pioneers. Remind you that a Pioneers game is a great way to bring your group together. 3-1 fouled back to the screen by Favada, full count. Whether it's a school, church, business, youth sports organization, or anything in between, the Pioneers are also able to offer great picnic options for your organization or business. Reserve your group today by calling 607-734-2690. Go Pios. Payoff pitch with 2 outs. Pioneers have knotted the ball game even with a 2-run bottom of the fourth. Benton kicks and fires, and the fastball just lined back to the screen. Vincent splintering it, getting a piece to stay alive. In the home half of the fourth for Elmira, it hasn't been the sweet stuff, but it's been the critical ones to get it done. A fielder's choice from Starr, which tied the ball game up. A walk from Dowbeck, a sac fly off the bat of Moniz. A little goes a long way. Pioneers just moving the chains along the base paths. Wise base running also a consistent moral. Pioneers have not lacked in that department this season. Payoff pitch on the way. Lefty on righty matchup to Favada with 2 outs, and the fastball strays off the outside edge for ball 4. And that might put the final stamp on the departure for Elijah Benton, and in fact it will, as Thomas Eaton comes out to the mound, and now we will get a pitching change for good. We'll take a brief timeout and come back in a few short moments on the Pioneers Baseball Network as Benton is pulled 3-all game, home half of the fourth. Welcome back to Elmira, bottom of the fourth inning. It has 2 runs and a hit, and a walk is enough to knock Elijah Benton out of the ball game, so he'll finish his day. Pioneers with runners on first and second with 2 outs. It'll be Starr to lead off a second, Favana off a first, back to the top of the batting order in Aiden Grabowski. Grabowski third on the Pios in RBIs with 10 as he chops one on the ground to Madrid at third. Madrid will take it to the bag himself. 1 pitch, 1 out to end the bottom of the fourth inning. So for the Pioneers, they score 2 runs on a hit, no errors, and they strand 2 runners left on base. We'll take it to the 5th, all tied up at 3 here on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Your back-to-back West Division champion Elmira Pioneers would like to thank Clarion Inn Horseheads Elmira for being the official host hotel of the Pioneers. If you're looking for a place to stay in Chemung County, well, check out the Clarion Inn. Head to the top of the 5th inning. Brendan Hayes back out with an opportunity now to wipe clean what could have been a potential loss for him in the ball game. He was down 3-0 entering the 3rd inning. All kinds of uncertainty as whether or not the Pioneers would get the offensive engine rolling. A ground ball wide to third, unable to field is Simmons. A long throw to first made by Grabowski, not in time. Palmer was pulled off the bag. As the Pioneers dugout unhappy with that call, and reasonably so. So that'll go down as an infield hit in all likelihood. We'll wait on our official scorer, Ben Leary. The ball evaded Simmons at third base, and it got to Grabowski at shortstop. On the backhand side, he tended to it, threw off balance to Palmer at first. So it's an infield single to start the top of the 5th. From Michael Uchi, who reaches base. Uchi, a .333 batting average on the season. Now it's Jaden Madrid, squares to bunt, and attempts to quickly give Geneva back the lead. So it'll be a 1-0 count with nobody out. Simmons creeps into the bag at third. Medium-sized lead for Uchi. A snap throw attempt back to first. Dubek just bluffs, and the fastball taken high by Madrid. 2-0 the count. So Uchi with the infield single to start off the top of the 5th. 3rd hit of the ball game for Geneva. First hit since the top of the 2nd inning. Aiken Santana and J.D. Robinson, the 2 singles. In the 2nd, Madrid squares to bunt and takes another fastball inside. Quickly behind in the count is Hayes, 3-0 with nobody out. Last thing you want to do to suck the life out of the team and the momentum is you just tied the ball game up with a 2-run bottom of the 4th to make it 3-all as Madrid squares to bunt, flashes, draws it back, takes a called strike from Hayes over the outer third. 3-1 the count. As the lights starting to illuminate down here on Dunn Field on this gloomy Friday evening. As that one squirts away from the catcher Dubek, it's a moot point. As advancing down to first is Madrid. So a single and a walk as Uchi. A long creep off the second base bag. Not entirely sure whether he was anticipating a bait throw there from Dubek or he just was thinking about possibly advancing to third. Nonetheless, Eric Burkan out for a mound visit with the right-hander Brendan Hayes, who's gone 4+ innings. Should he depart now, Uchi and Madrid would be his responsibility. Doesn't look like Burkan would single to make a move just yet. Burkan's been the one making the pitching changes as of late. Garrett Rochon getting warm in the Pioneers bullpen now. It would be a bit unconventional to see Rochon appear in relief. The one game you saw him do so this year was that very strange Game 2 loss on the season to the Batavia Muck Dogs. So Burkan will depart off the mound. 2 mound visits remain for the Pioneers as he trails back to the Elmira dugout. Pios fans, new trading card sets and mini bats are now available at the merchandise store at Dunn Field. This season, get yourself the latest Elmira Pioneers gear, hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, warm-ups, baseballs, and much, much more. Be sure to stop by the merchandise stand, buy concessions when at the Dunn, and go Pios. Ready on ready matchup with nobody out. A hit and a walk in the inning have the Red Wings set up. As squaring to bunt is the catcher Colin Clark, and he lays it down the third baseline beautifully. In charge is Simmons, makes the play, throws to first in time. Both base runners advance, so Uchi will be off a third, Madrid off a second. As Clark's washed, put out goes 5-3 for out number 1, and that'll bring up Dylan Briggs, rounding out the Geneva batting order. Still a tied ball game, but should Hayes escape the inning with it being a tie ball game, if the Pioneers did score in the home half of the 5th, he could be potentially eligible for victory should he be removed from the ball game in place of Garrett Rochon. Ready and ready matchup, it's Dylan Briggs. 0 for 1 with a strikeout in his first trip to the plate in the 3rd. Breaking ball just off the outside corner. Dubek and the Pios wanted a called strike, didn't get it, 1-0 the count. Pioneers infield comes in. You've seen it frequently throughout both Geneva and the Pios in the ball game, trying to cut off the run as best they can. In the ball game, 3 hits for Geneva, 3 runs is now a pop-up bunt foul. Dubek's going to give it a look. It just squirts behind the plate and dies. Not enough hang time on it for the Pioneers catcher to pop out of his crouch and receive. 1-1 the count with 1 out. Briggs, a 160 hitter entering tonight's ball game. After him, it'll be turned back to the top of the batting order in Zach Banks. Banks, an unconventional 0 for 2 in the ball game. Uncharacteristic stuff you see from a 407 hitter. Pioneers have held him captive all season long at the plate. Brilliant pitch making from the Pios. Haven't allowed anything really to the top of the Geneva batting order. And included Zach Banks, Chase Fogg a couple weeks ago prior to the large decline in his batting average, now down to 115. 2-1 the count as Hayes misses low and away with a breaking ball, and he'll offer to Briggs, who hits one deep to right center field. On the run is Gramesti in the gap. It's going to be over his head and go all the way to the wall. 1 run scores Zatsuchi. Madrid right behind him on a 2-run stand-up double off the bat for Dylan Briggs, and just like that, Geneva now leads 5-3. So on the 2-run double, both Uchi and Madrid cross the plate. And Burkan comes out to the mound. Second time, 4 1/3 is going to be all for Brendan Hayes in the ball game. So you feel for Brendan because it got back to a tie game. Obviously no longer eligible for victory. Didn't last through 5 innings and now behind by 2. Could potentially be in line for the loss as Burkan's going to make a pitching change. And we'll make a short timeout here on the Pioneers Baseball Network with Elmira down by 2. Fans, be sure to come out to Dunn Field on Thursday, July 3rd, as your back-to-back West Division champion Elmira Pioneers get set to host the Auburn Doubledays. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. For tickets, call 607-734-2690. Go Pios! We welcome you back here on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Geneva leads 5-3 in the visitors' half of the fifth inning with one out. Brendan Hayes has pulled his night done after 4 1/3 innings of work for Hayes in the ball game. He lasts 4 1/3, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. A 4.91 ERA for the Barry University sophomore. The guy that just took him deep in the right center field gap is Dylan Briggs. He leads off a second with one out. And the top of the batting order is up to the plate. It's Zach Banks. New pitcher on the mound for Elmira is Garrett Rochon. For Rochon and the Pioneers, the right-hander out of the University of Ottawa, 2-1 on the season, 4 appearances, 3 have started now, his 5th appearance on the season, 2nd in relief as he fires a fastball off the plate, 1-1 the count to Banks with 1 out here in the 5th. 5 runs on 4 hits and 2 errors for Geneva, 3 runs on 4 hits and 1 error for the Pioneers. Rochon kicks and fires from the right side of the rubber, just misses off the plate, 2-1 the count. Pretty nice crowd on hand here on this Friday evening. 3rd Friday night ball game of the season at Dunn Field. So Rochon, a peek at Briggs, a wide lead off a second. Banks rolls one on the ground to first. Stabbed by Palmer, knocks it down, races to the bag, just beats the hustling Banks. A tough play and nicely made by the Pios first baseman and Palmer. Advancing to third in the process is Briggs, 2 outs in the inning. So Banks 0 for 3 in the ball game. He grounds out, and that'll bring up Jules Conti, 2 strikeouts against Brendan Hayes. Accounted for a third of the Pioneers' right-handers' strikeouts in the ball game, as Brendan finished with 6 across 4 1/3. So through his last 11 1/3 innings of work, Hayes has struck out 12 batters. A very nice walk-to-strikeout ratio for Hayes, and it'd be unfortunate to see him get the loss tonight after he really pitched nicely. Back into counts, kept his control very well under. That's only 2 walks now in the last 11 1/3. You culminate both 2 statistics together, and you're looking at 2 walks and 12 strikeouts across that time frame. 2 starts in which he's averaged 5+ innings. Nothing in 2 is a swing and a miss on a high fastball from Jules Conti, or potentially a replacement now in Geneva's lineup. Thomas Eaton not being afraid to mix it up, as it's Christian Bermudez, a 158 hitter, and he swings and misses against Rochon to retire the side at the top of the 5th. So Bermudez, a 1-for-1 swap in for Conti. He's caught to end the 5th. 1 batter faced, 1 out for Rochon. 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and a runner left on base. We'll head to the home half of the 5th. Geneva up by 2 here on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Well, Pios fans, the Pioneers have scored 3 runs tonight, which means you score courtesy of McDonald's. As every home game that the Elmira Pioneers score 3 runs, everyone in attendance wins a free medium fry with a $2 purchase courtesy of McDonald's. Visit them at North Main Street, Cedar Street, the Arnott Mall, or Grand Central Avenue. Thank you, McDonald's, and go Pios. 0-1 from Michael Sardu. Only 3 pitches into his evening. On the first pitch at the bottom of the 4th, Pios were pressing for more. Aiden Grabowski at the top of the order stepped to the dish, grounded one down to Jaden Madrid at third, who nullified the threat by stepping on the bag to retire Starr, the lead base runner. It was Starr and Favada on base. Good speed for the Pioneers. And Grabowski hit it right on the screws, just on the ground, and Madrid, like a vacuum, swallowed it up and took it to the bag in time. It's Cooper Smith to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning for the Pioneers, as Geneva leads Elmira 5-3. Glad you could spend part of your Friday evening with us here on the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. It'll be Smith followed by Gramesti and Manganiello. 3-1 offering from the right side of the rubber. That one smacked on a line. Deep left field going back is Fogg. He settles under it and puts it away for out number 1. A new defensive swap in the ball game. It's Christian Bermudez. We alluded to him making his first plate appearance of the ball game in place of Jules Conti, a .222 hitter. Bermudez coming in at 158, but can play relatively astute defense in the field. Smith's retired on an F7 to open up the home half of the 5th. 1 out and the base is empty. With Elmira down by 2, it's TJ Gramesti. Gramesti, a .453 batting average entering tonight's ball game. 0 for 1, has reached base once with a walk. That came in the 3rd. Takes the inside hook breaking ball from Sardu for a called strike. For Sardu, one of the many players on both Geneva and Newark. This one grounded back up the middle. Diving stop by the second baseman in Bermudez. Throws to first way late to get Gramesti. TJ reaches. He's aboard via the infield single. So the second consecutive inning with a hit, third consecutive inning, check that, with a hit for the Elmira Pioneers, as Gramesti's aboard with 1 out. It'll bring up Anthony Manganiello to the plate. Busy night across the league, 5 different games going on. Niagara Falls at Jamestown, Batavia at Auburn, Newark is at Niagara, and then in the East Division, Amsterdam at Oneonta, Boonville at Glens Falls. Gramesti a short lead off at first with 1 out. Righty on lefty matchup. Kicking and firing is Sardu, and he misses in the dirt with a fastball. 1-0 the count. 5-3 Geneva leads on the big board for the Pioneers. 5 hits through 4 1/3 innings of work against 2 different pitchers for the Red Wings, being the starter Benton, who is a left-hander. Sardu now the right-hander. About 5 or 6 pitches into his affair. Snap throw back to first. An attempted check on the speedy Gramesti. 5-4-2 for Geneva, 3-5-1 for Elmira. A swing could tie the ball game up here. A power void being filled by Anthony Manganiello. Looked to do damage with a fastball, and he lines one into center field. Settling under it is Briggs. A couple steps to his right, makes the catch, out number 2. So 2 sharply hit fly balls, just right on the screws. Smith retired for the first out, now Manganiello for the second, as Gramesti is held captive at first. John Simmons to the plate, 0 for 1 in the ballgame, reached base once to lead off the bottom of the 4th via a walk. One of 3 walk victims of the left-hander Elijah Benton in the home half of the 4th, which allowed Elmira to scrape across 2 runs. They now trail by 2 again. Simmons lines it foul. Third base side out of play, 0-1. Sardu comes set now. Snap throw back to first. Gramesti up without a slide. So it'll remain 0-1 with 2 outs. Pios trailed by 2. Elmira trailed by as many as 3. They've trailed by as many as 4 in the ballgame. Another wide throw first base. That skips by Aiken Santana. Goes all the way onto the warning track. Gramesti's going to hustle. He'll race to third. Throw comes into the catcher Clark in anticipation of a wide turn from Gramesti. So it'll be an E1 on the pitcher in Sardu, which allows Gramesti to get all the way up to third base. Already the 3rd error in the ball game for Geneva. 0-1 count assumed by Simmons with 2 outs. While fourth Pioneers run potentially 90 feet away. Oh, 1 fastballs off the outside edge. 1-1 the count to Simmons. One fastball strays away. 2-1 the count to Simmons with 2 outs. Sardu missing with 2 consecutive heaters. For Geneva, that's already their 3rd error across 4 2/3 innings of work. Pioneers will look to make him pay for it here, as Gromowski moves 180 feet up. 2-1 fastball inside. John takes a 3-1 count. John, a 5-pitch walk to open up the bottom of the 3rd. Rather, the bottom of the 4th. Check that. Pioneers with 3 hits in their last inning and 2/3, accounting for 60% of their collective offense in the ballgame. 3-1 with 2 outs. Right-hander sets and fires to the lefty Simmons, and the breaking ball off the outside corner. That's a 2-out walk. So Sardu has gone a full inning so far, induced a ground out off the bat of Gramesti, and now has gone through 2 outs at the bottom of the 5th. Runners on the corners for the Pioneers, as you have Gramesti off a 3rd, Simmons off a 1st. Palmer is the go-ahead run. 3rd on the Pioneers in on-base percentage. Entering tonight's ball game, .452 for Mike. Playing the first base position, can swing it from the right side against a favorably fastball-heavy Sardu. Goes with the high heat here. Palmer lays off above the letters. 1-0 the count. 5 runs on 4 hits and 3 errors for Geneva. 3 runs on 5 hits and 1 error for the Pioneers. 1-0 to Palmer with 2 outs. And Mike takes a fastball over the heart of the plate for a called strike 1. One with 2 outs. Palmer, a high pop-up. Third base side, foul out of play. And the count runs to 1-2. Do you own a business looking for janitor supplier or supplies? Call Vasco Brands and tell them the back-to-back West Division champion Elmira Pioneers sent you. Pios trail by 2. Michael Palmer on strike 2 with out number 2. Elmira looking to make some 2-out magic happen in the bottom of the 5th. Palmer, a high pop-up at third base. It's Madrid. Ranges over towards the Geneva dugout. A long run. He's going to run out of room. Madrid trying to go full mode a la Gio Urshela there with that play. Was unable to. For those unaware, alluding to the catch the one-time New York Yankee third baseman made in the final game of the regular season, a game in which got New York into the playoffs 4 years ago. 1-2 the count with 2 outs to Palmer. A good at-bat being worked by Mike. He'll see a 5th pitch here. Righty on lefty matchup with Gromesti creeping off at 3rd. Simmons off at 1st. Heart of the Pioneers order in against the first reliever of the ball game for the Red Wings. 1-2, breaking ball. Called. Strike 3. That'll do it for the bottom of the 5th. Palmer's frozen. And for the Pioneers, they'll just have to sit there and wonder. No runs and a hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. We'll take it to the 6th as Palmer retired via the backwards K. Geneva with a 2-run lead here on the Pioneers Baseball Network. The Elmira Pioneers would like to thank some of our most loyal sponsors for the 2025 season, including Ward Manufacturing, Wegmans, Weiss Markets, Well Now Urgent Care, Wilbur Auto, and Woodbrook Assisted Living. The Geneva Red Wings on top of the Elmira Pioneers 5-3 as we enter the top of the 6th inning at Dunn Field. I'm Farrell Hudson for the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. The story of tonight's ball game is Brendan Hayes getting the start for the Pios. 4 1/3 innings of work, gives up 5 runs, 6 hits, 4 earned. Good control for him, and a reliever on the ball game's Garrett Rochon, who went 2/3 of an inning unscathed in the top of the 5th inning. Got Zach Banks to ground out, and then Jules Conti to strike out for the 3rd time of the ball game. Froze him on a beautiful off-speed pitch, got Conti to swing, who was in disarray, as it'll be Chase Fogg to lead off the top of the 6th inning. Fogg followed by Santana and Turner for Geneva, 3-4-5 in the Red Wings order. Fogg 0 for 2 in the ball game. A grounder back to Hayes on the mound in the 1st. That concluded a 1-2-3 top half of the inning for Brendan, who motored through the Geneva order like a hot knife through butter. 1-2-3 they went. Banks a fly out, Conti the strikeout. Conti now being replaced by Bermudez at the second base position, and then Fogg in left as Fogg chops one foul here. 1-2 the count against Rochon. Enters tonight's ball game a 4.02 ERA. 1-1 win-loss record. Coming unconventionally in relief here, his 5th appearance of the season, 2nd in place of a starter. 1-2 with nobody out, ready matchup with the bases empty. Rochon kicks and fires, and Fogg, a grounder, 3rd base side out of play. 1-2 the count remains. Fogg's offensive woes continue. We alluded to him entering tonight's ball game batting .115, now 0 for 2, on the precipice of potentially being 0 for 3 as he fouls off the high heat from Rochon to stay alive. 2-hour ball game which has seen 9 collective hits, 4 errors, 8 runs, 5 by Geneva, 3 by the Pioneers. Pioneers lead in the hit column but not on the big board. 1-2 with nobody out. Rochon fires in. It's reached out and poked into left field by Chase Fogg for a base hit. Starr has to field the bat hop. He'll fire in quickly to Grabowski, holding Fogg to a single to lead off the 6th. So for Fogg, that's a much-needed hit, as we just mentioned. 5th hit of the ball game for the Red Wings, 2nd consecutive inning with at least a hit, and now 3 hits and an inning plus against both Hayes and Rochon. Simmons will draw even with the bag at 3rd. Moniz and Grabowski up the middle at their relative double play depth, and Palmer is holding on Fogg at 1st. Nothing offering on the way to Aiken Santana. Ready matchup with nobody out. Rochon gets a swing and a miss, and now a run down. Fogg's picked off at first base. Dubek fires down. The throw from Palmer now comes to Moniz. Moniz is going to chase back to the bag, and the tag is applied by Rochon for out number 1. So the play goes, weirdly enough, 2-3, 4-1. And that's how Fogg's wiped for the first out of the top of the 6th. So the Pioneers will take it now. 1 out and the base is empty. A beautiful snipe throw from the catcher in Brandon Dubek. So 1 out and a 0-1 count to Aiken Santana. Santana batting .353. He's reached base twice in the ball game. A single to lead off the top of the 2nd, in which he came around to score one of the 3 Geneva runs. Fastball just misses high above the letters, off the outer 3rd. 1-1 the count. With 1 out, it's Santana, followed by the right fielder Jack Turner, who struck out his last trip to the plate. 1-1, breaking ball. Catches the outside corner for a called strike 2. Nicely located there by the Pioneers' right-handed reliever. One-two, fastball. Santana doesn't bite. Just off the plate, 2-2 the count. As Rochon comes set, Garrett working out of the stretch position. Deep breath, right side of the rubber, fires. Called, strike 3 over the outside corner. Froze Santana. That's out number 2 in the inning. So with 2 outs and the bases empty, here comes Jack Turner, the Haddon Heights, New Jersey native and Maverick College sophomore. Turner batting .195. Reached on an E3. as it trickled off the glove of Palmer in the top of the second, allowing Turner to advance to second base. He eventually came around to score as he swings and misses through the fastball from Roshan. 0-1 the count. So it'll be an 0-1 with 2 outs. Roshan sets and fires. Fastball just off the plate, 1-1. Pios fans looking for something to eat or drink after the game? Well, don't look too far. Kahuna's Bar is open after the game, and fans can redeem their game ticket for $1 off their first drink. Thank you, Kahuna's, and go Pios. Roshan just misses low with the fastball. Home plate umpire indicates that's just where you missed. You were close, though. 2-1 the count with 2 outs. Pios still trail by 2 here in the top of the 6th, in danger of dropping their first ball game of the season to the Geneva Red Wings. Roshan fires fastball low and away. 3-1 the count. As Roshan will step off the rubber to gather himself for a brief, short moment and now get back on. Good hitters count for righty hitting Turner, who has plenty of power, stands in, and the fastball just off the outside corner for ball 4. So the second base runner of the inning for Geneva, Chase Fogg, got wiped on a pickoff play. He was wandering about 20 to 30 feet off the first base bag. Brandon Dubeck a snap throw back to first. Fogg opted to go to second. The play went Dubeck to Palmer to Moniz to Roshan, as Garrett eventually tagged out Fogg for the first out of the inning, then got a strikeout of Aiken Santana, and now walks Jack Turner. Tough spot to walk a 195 hitter down 2 runs. Nonetheless, that's the scenario that plays out. 5 runs on 5 hits and 3 errors now for Geneva. Across 5 2/3 work for Pioneers pitching. Both Hayes and Roshan combining in that time frame. Brendan starting out 4 1/3 innings of work. As we mentioned, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Righty on lefty matchup as J.D. Robinson, the shortstop, steps to the plate with 2 outs, and the fastball misses high and away. 1-0 the count. Rather a pinch hitter now in for Geneva in place of the right-handed hitting J.D. Robinson. It's Casey Burcroft, the shortstop. We'll wait till 1-0 offering with 2 outs. But Burcroft will 1-for-1 swap, just like Christian Bermudez now in the ballgame for Jules Conti. So J.D. Robinson's out. You're eliminating a 95% field percentage for Robinson, as this one's fouled back to the screen by the aforementioned Burcroft. The count is 1-1 with 2 outs. Geneva already playing their 15th road game on the season. They've found minute success. 3 ball games of their 4 that they've emerged victorious in have come on the road. But understandably so when they've played 3/4 of their ball games on the road. Already their 15th game on the road. 1-2 fastball high. Throw down to second from Dubeck is late. He was waiting in anticipation of a strike 3 call. Tag applied by Grabowski. It's a moot point. 2-2 the count, as Turner advances to second on the stolen base. Pios trying to get out of the inning unscathed. 2 base runners have reached, 1 on a hit, 1 on a walk. The walked victim in scoring position now in Turner. As Roshan comes set right side of the rubber, stares in, kicks, and fires to Burcroft, and it's swung on and tipped in and out of the glove of Dubeck. Caught a piece of the home plate umpire on the leg, who gingerly shakes it off. So 2-2 the count remains with 2 outs. Some faint "Let's Go Pios" chants up from the crowd here. Brandon Dubeck sharing a laugh with the home plate umpire as the wind's starting to blow in. A minute threat of rain in the forecast this evening. Pios looking to bring the rain with the offense in the bottom of the 6th. They have 12 more outs to work with in the ball game against Geneva relievers who not one had a sub-5 ERA as of last week. Roshan misses high with a fastball. 3-2 the count with 2 outs. There is a free base open. No bases completely occupied, so Turner is not obligated to take off. Roshan can solely focus here on Burcroft as he kicks and fires. The payoff pitch with 2 outs. That's inside. Throw back to second base. Skips off the glove of Grabowski and trickles onto the lip of the outfield grass. Pioneers might have thought they had strike 3. Roshan thought he caught the plate. Home plate umpire says, no, that is off. So the second consecutive walk issued by Roshan. A hit. Still no runs to cross the plate in the inning, but the ante has been up. Michael Uchi steps to the dish. Uchi possessing a .333 batting average. Digs in from the right side against the righty Roshan. Outfield's at medium depth. Pio's in danger of trailing by more than just 2. Roshan fires. Breaking ball. That catches the outside corner at the knees of Uchi for a called strike 1. Uchi also seeing some time as a catcher for this Red Wings squad, also as a pitcher. As Roshan comes set right side of the rubber, a long stare at Turner off of second. Now kicks and delivers. A swing and a miss from Uchi for strike 2. So 0-2 the count with 2 outs, top of the 6th. Pio's trailed by 2. Tied at 5 in the hit column. Geneva's made 3 errors in the ballgame, which has granted the Pioneers a little bit of offensive life. Look to get it back here at the bottom of the 6th. And with 2 strikes, that's been the common theme that's occurred the last 2 plate appearances, in which 2 walks have been issued by Roshan. He's thought he's had strike 3, both on 2-2 and 3-2 counts, but unable to eventually get it. But he's been living at 2 strikes all evening. This one squirts off the glove of the catcher, Dubek. Both runners will advance 90 feet. Kicking up to third is Turner, and now up to second is Burcroft. So a complete middle infield swap of defensive replacements. It'll be Bermudez at second. Burcroft is the shortstop, as we'll enter the home half of the 6th inning when the Pioneers come to bat. That'll be the Geneva defensive alignment. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Roshan comes set right side of the rubber. Deep breath out of the stretch position. Kicks and fires, and the fastball just off the plate. So it'll be a full count with 2 outs. Roshan a little bit more demonstrative that time, wanting the strike 3 call. Was unable to get it. Payoff pitch now on the way with 2 outs. This one grounded back up the middle. Grabowski ranges to his left. Fields fires to first in time to end the top of the 6th inning. And Roshan, a couple more words as he departs. Home plate umpire kindly telling him, hey, you're going to have to depart, sir. Roshan still remains in the ball game, though, so the Pioneers will have a chance to utilize him in the 6th as Uchi grounds out to shortstop. The play goes 6-3. Grabowski ranging nicely to his forehand side to conclude the inning. All that mayhem and no runs come in to score for Geneva on a hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. We'll take it to the home half of the 6th. Elmira down by 2 on the Pioneers Baseball Network. The Elmira Pioneers would like to thank AJ's Outdoor Power Equipment for being the official motorsport provider for your back-to-back West Division champion Pioneers. Visit them today at 1669 South Main Street in Mansfield, Pennsylvania. As we start the bottom of the 6th inning, Michael Sardu on for his 2nd full inning of relief. Sardu's lasted an inning and a third as he kicks and fires over the outside edge. A called strike to the right-handed hitting Jacob Moniz for the Pioneers in the home half of the sixth. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 in the order. Moniz followed by Duback, the catcher, and Starr, the left fielder. For Geneva, 5 runs on 5 hits and 3 errors. For your Pioneers, 3 runs on 5 hits and 1 error. 1-1 offering with nobody out. Off the outside corner with a breaking ball. Sardu misses. It's 2-1. Moniz batting .292 on the season, possessing a very formidable on-base percentage of .414 as he lines one off the end of the bat, shallow right field. In charges Turner. Out goes the second baseman, Bermudez. Bermudez, the one who settles under it, the call and the catch for out number 1 as Moniz is retired. So a P4 to shallow right center off the end of the bat from Moniz. 1 out and the base is empty, and that'll bring up Brandon Duback. Duback 0 for 1 of the game has reached base once via a walk. Righty-on-righty matchup versus Sardu with 1 out. Breaking ball off the plate, 1-0. Brandon getting the start behind the plate tonight. A couple baseballs have trickled through him. For the most part, calling a good ball game. That one just misses off the plate, 2-0 the count. Next offering from Sardu to Duback is inside. 3 balls and no strikes the count to Duback. Should Duback reach, it'll be Shane Starr, the left fielder who reached on a fielder's choice. His last trip to the plate, regardless of whether Duback reaches, that's who's in the hole here with 1 out. Fastball off the plate. Duback draws another walk. Second consecutive at-bat reaching base for the Pioneers catcher. So here comes Shane Starr. Starr bats from the left side against the righty Sardu with 1 out. Duback a short lead off of first. Santana holding him on. All 3 errors have come at the first base position tonight. For that fact, all 4 errors in the ball game collectively have come at the first base position. Michael Palmer an E3 in the top of the second inning. That was the one uncharged run to Brendan Hayes as Brendan made a beautiful play off the mound. Nonetheless, was unable to get the out as he corralled it over to Palmer at first base. Fastball outside corner, called strike 2 to Shane Starr, shall I say. Roshan was the one on the top of the 6th complaining with the plate umpire. Thought he had a couple strike 3s to get out of the inning. Beg to differ on a numerous couple occasions with the home plate umpire, but remains in the ball game as Vincent Favada did a nice job to steer him away from any further confrontation, which could have potentially led to an ejection. Now, Pioneers, you do get a free one, but obviously you want to be able to hopefully use Garrett Roshan potentially for some long relief. You got to keep in mind that the Pioneers have a ball game in Batavia tomorrow night, followed by another quick turnaround, a 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. start time against the Niagara Falls Americans in Niagara on Sunday. Fastball off the plate from Sardu to the left-handed hitting Starr with 1 out, 2-2 the count. Shane batting 105 entered tonight's ball game, the product out of Moretown, Vermont. Sardu delivers fastball inside. It's a full count. Fans, be sure to tune in right here to the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network again tomorrow night as your back-to-back West Division champion Elmira Pioneers hit the road once again to take on the Batavia Muck Dogs from Dwyer Stadium. Our live coverage begins with Pioneers pregame live at 5:55 p.m. First pitch scheduled shortly thereafter 6:30. Fly ball shallow left field. In charges Fogg. He puts it away to retire. Starr for the second out. Hustling back to first is Duback. So Shane 0 for 2 in the ball game with a fielder's choice and an RBI. 2 outs and a runner on in Duback. It'll be Vincent Favada, who's had himself a nice ball game. Vincent reached on a single in the bottom of the 3rd to lead off the inning, came around to score in the process, then walked in the bottom of the 4th. He bats from the right side against the righty Sardu with 2 outs. Home half of the 6th, he represents the tying run as well. First pitch, Favada on the ground to third. Madrid on 3 bounces, fires across the diamond in time to retire Favada to end the inning. For the Pioneers, no runs and no hits, no errors, and a runner left on base. We'll head to the 7th. Geneva up 5-3 here on the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Elmira as we get you set for the top of the 7th inning. Pioneers still trail the Geneva Red Wings 5-3. We're glad you could spend part of your Friday night with us here on the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. I'm Farrell Hudson. It'll be the 8, 9, and 10 in the Geneva order due up to the plate in the top of the 7th inning. Jaden Madrid followed by the catcher Colin Clark and the center fielder Dylan Briggs. Here's Madrid to dig in from the right side against Roshan. Simmons in at the bag at third for the speedy Madrid in anticipation of a potential bunt. Roshan misses low with a fastball. 1-0 the count. 5 runs on 5 hits and 3 errors for Geneva. 3 runs on 5 hits and an error for the Pioneers. High fly ball deep to left field on his horse's start. Goes back just in front of the warning track, settles under it, and puts it away for out number 1. So Madrid gave it a ride, but 2 pitches and 1 out here in the top of the 7th. So here comes Colin Clark to the plate. Pioneers, no defensive alignments or swaps to note just yet, as we alluded to in the previous inning. Casey Burkcroft now takes over at shortstop in place of the starter in J.D. Robinson. Fastball fired over the outside corner from Roshan for a called strike 1 to the righty hitting catcher. Christian Bermudez now at second base in place of Jules Conti, who got the start in the ball game, struck out twice against Brendan Hayes. Swing and a miss from Clark. It's Clark followed by Briggs to round out the batting order for Geneva. There'll be a 0-2 with 1 out for Roshan, who's piecing together a nice middle relief outing so far in place of Brendan Hayes. 2 innings of work and no earned runs allowed. Garrett kicks and fires. Breaking ball just misses low and away. Roshan wanted called strike 3. He squats to his knees. Now pops quickly back up. Dubek fires back. One-two from Roshan with 1 out to Clark, and he misses high and inside. Almost got Clark. Colin Clark got plunked in the helmet on an off-speed pitch from Brendan Hayes in the top of the 2nd inning. 2-2 with one out. Fastball fouled. First base side out of play. Into the stands. Fans, come join the back-to-back West Division champion Pioneer family. Season tickets start at just $99. Stop by the merchandise stand to sign up today and go Pios. 2-2 the count with one out in the top of the seventh. Roshan comes set right side of the rubber with the bases empty. Fires tipped into the glove of Dubeck for strike three. Catcher Colin Clark is retired for out number two. So Roshan doing a nice job getting ahead with the fastball there. From an 0-2 back to a 2-2 count, but he gets Clark swinging. So in the ball game, Clark's 0 for 2, and that'll bring up Briggs, who had a 2-run double to knock Brendan Hayes out of the ball game his last trip to the plate. First offering from Roshan with 2 outs as a fastball misses high and in tight. 1-0 the count. Garrett kicks and fires. Fastball outside corner for a called strike one. 1-1 the count with 2 outs and the bases empty. Top of the 7th inning. 5th matchup of the season between Geneva and Elmira. Already home game number 12 for the Pioneers. This one grounded to shortstop. The high hop handled on an awkward bounce on the lip of the infield. Grabowski nonetheless corrals it up with a throw to first in time to conclude the top of the 7th inning. A 1-2-3 top of the 7th for Garrett Roshan. Faces the minimum. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base. 6.5 through. Get up and stretch. Pios trail by 2 on the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. Pioneers trail by 2 as we get you set for the bottom of the 7th inning of action. Good news for Elmira. It's back to the top of the batting order. It'll be Aiden Grabowski followed by Cooper Smith and TJ Gramesti to come to the plate for the Pioneers in the home half of the 7th. A new pitcher in the ball game for the Geneva Red Wings. It's Anthony Barton who delivers. Sidearm slinging it off the outside edge to Grabowski. 1-0 the count. Aiden entering tonight's ball game batting .357. Popped up to the catcher Clark in the bottom of the first. A single was stranded on third in the bottom of the third, and then a ground ball to third in the bottom of the fourth to conclude the inning and nullify the rally, one in which scraped across 2 runs on 2 hits for the Pioneers. 2-0 the count with nobody out. Pios trail by 2. Barton kicks and fires. Grabowski squares to bunt, draws it back, and takes a called strike at the knees. So it'll be a 2-1 with nobody out. Grimesti, fastball outside corner, takes it for a called strike 2. Shakes his head in disagreement. Two-two to Grabowski. Off the outside corner, 3-2 the count. It'll be a payoff pitch with nobody out. Sardou's final line of the ball game: a hit, no runs, no earned runs, 2 walks and a strikeout. Line deep down the left field line by Grabowski, going into the corner, foul. A great piece by the Pioneers shortstop, who was way out in front of the breaking ball from Barton. It'll remain a full count with nobody out. Payoff pitch on the way to Grabowski. Sardou delivers and line drive into left field, right on a platter for Fogg, who puts it away for out number 1. Grabowski gave it a ride, smoked an absolute howitzer off the bat. But Fogg there to put it away. So 1 out when the base is empty. Here comes Mr. Elmira Cooper Smith. Smith to dig in from the right side, and the base is empty against Barton. The line in the ball game so far for Geneva Red Wings pitching as Barton kicks and fires a fastball for a called strike. Elijah Barton, the starter, lasted 3 2/3 innings of work. 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, while walking 6 and striking out 1. For Michael Sardou, 2 1/3 innings of work. This one fisted off the end of the bat. It's a jam shot to first base. Aiken Santana, an underhand flip to Barton, covering the bag in time for out number 2. So Grabowski and Smith are retired. 2 outs and the base is empty. Home half of the 7th. Elmira trails by 2, and here comes TJ Grimesti to the plate. So it'll be Grimesti, who is 1 for 2 in the ball game. He's reached base in 2 of 3 plate appearances. To bat from the right side, Grimesti, another victim of smoking one deep down the left field line, just foul. The power that both Grabowski and Grimesti provide, immense for this Elmira squad. But only now 5 runs in the last 21 innings of work for Pioneers hitting, as the slider's taken over the inner third by Grimesti for a called strike. Barton working quickly, out of the stretch position, fires, and the breaking ball misses low and away. 1-1 the count. Barton delivers, skips in the dirt, 59-footer in front of the catcher Clark, and goes to the backstop. 2-1. 5 runs on 5 hits and 3 errors for Geneva. 3 runs on 5 hits and 1 error for your Pioneers. Elmira in danger of dropping only what would be their 4th ball game in 12 at Dunn Field. Grimesti, a high fly ball deep to left field. Fogg's on his horse. He goes back, settles under it, and puts it away for the final out of a 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th inning for Anthony Barton. In the inning for Elmira, no runs on no hits, no errors, and no runners left on base. We'll head to the 8th. Geneva ahead by 2 here on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Pioneers trail 5-3 as we enter the top of the 8th inning here from Dunn Field on this cool Friday evening. 5th matchup of the season between the Pioneers and the Geneva Red Wings. I'm Farrell Hudson, thanking you for joining us. Third pitcher in the ball game for the Elmira Pioneers. It's the right-hander Casey Julkowski out of Gresham, Oregon. For Julkowski, he's making his 6th appearance on the season, a 2-0 record as he faces the top third in the Geneva batting order. In the top of the 8th inning, it'll be Zach Banks followed by Conti and Fogg. Zach Banks disoriented there on the inside breaking ball from Julkowski. 0-1 as he cuts through it. Casey offers, and fastball skipped in the dirt, blocked by Dubeck. 1-1 the count. Both 5 hits for Geneva and Elmira, but 5-3 the score on the big board in favor of the visitors. 1-1 from Julkowski. Breaking ball misses inside. 2-1 the count. Julkowski doing a nice job this season of establishing his control. 2 walks and 4 strikeouts across 7 2/3. 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. 2-1 to Banks with nobody out, and the breaking ball fouled back here by the press box out of play. 2-2 the count. Julkowski comes set right side of the rubber, working out of the stretch position. Righty on lefty matchup, kicks and fires. Breaking ball misses in at the feet of Banks. It's a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Julkowski a 3.52 ERA. Only relievers in better condition than Julkowski so far. Bryce Mashanik, Michael Geisler, who spent more of his time as a starter. Banks draws a walk and reaches base for the first time in the ball game. He's aboard via a free pass to open up Julkowski's outing. So speak of the devil, broadcaster Jinx working in full effect there. We're alluding to Julkowski's finite control of the strike zone. Not executed there on a payoff pitch, a 6-pitch walk to Banks. It'll now be Christian Bermudez in the place of Jules Conti. 1 at-bat in the ball game for Bermudez. He struck out swinging against Garrett Rochon. What an outing for Garrett, too, as now squaring a bunt. Banks is certainly going to take off. Julkowski's going to attempt to pick him off. Sliding back in ahead of the tag is Banks. Simmons crashes in at third in anticipation of a bunt from Bermudez. We mentioned he's batting only .158 on the season, but can provide plenty of speed when he reaches base. And as Julkowski is going to come set, Banks takes off for second. Fastball called strike bluff. Throw down to second base on 3 hops from Dubeck. Skips past Moniz, shielded by Grabowski. Behind short. So it's called strike, 0-1 the count, but Banks advances into scoring position. Pioneers already trail by 2 with 6 defensive outs remaining for Geneva to lock down victory in the ball game. Julkowski sets right side of the rubber. Banks, in all likelihood, is going to take off for third with Simmons crashing. He doesn't now as spinning an outside breaking ball as Julkowski having to dive into the left-handed batter's box. Was Dubeck, so 1-1 the count with nobody out. Palmer's into the bag at first, would anticipate a bunt down the third base line as Bermudez will square again. Julkowski sets and fires, and going around for strike 2 is Bermudez. He couldn't drag it back in time, so now he has to swing. And that changes the complexion of the at-bat right there. So Julkowski doing a nice job of doing his thing, not getting distracted by the bunt attempt by Bermudez, who now if he bunts and messes up with 2 strikes, well, he's out. The 1-2 from Julkowski with nobody out. Fastball off the outside corner, 2-2. It'll be a 2-2 from Julkowski to the right-handed hitting Bermudez with nobody out. Geneva leads by 2. Banks off a second. A swing and a miss. A nice changeup from Julkowski over the outside corner. Gets Bermudez to cut through it for out number 1. Julkowski, the third pitcher in the ball game for the Pioneers. Hayes and Rochon lasting Elmira through the 7 innings of work. In line right now for the loss is Brendan Hayes. Elijah Benton got the start. He cannot get the win, though. Only 3 2/3 innings of work As of now, Michael Sardu would be in line for the victory for Geneva, pitching 2 1/3 innings of work, 1 hit, no earned run baseball, no walks, and a strikeout. A count looking. Here's Chase Fogg, righty on righty matchup. Palmer crashes in at third. No bunt from Fogg as he takes a breaking ball outside. 1-0 the count. Even with the bag at third is Simmons. Won't anticipate that he'll crash in. Good hitters count for Fogg. Likely to get a fastball here behind. And the count behind in the ball game are the Pioneers. Julkowski typically effective with throwing strikes, especially in key situations like this. And he gets a high pop-up down the right field line. Ranging over is Cooper Smith. It's a long run. He can't get to it as it bounces up along the warning track. Foul out of play. 1-1 the count. Again, quick turnaround time for the Pioneers tomorrow night. They'll travel up to Batavia to take on the Muck Dogs from Dwyer Stadium. Our live coverage begins at 5:55 with Pioneers pregame live. The usual clubhouse report with first pitch kicking off shortly thereafter at 6:30. The Elmira Pioneers would like to thank Multimedia Services in South Corning for being the official printer of your back-to-back West Division champion Pioneers. Take a look around Dunn Field, and all the signage you see is printed by none other than Multimedia Services. 1-1 the count to Chase Fogg with 1 out. Banks dances off a second. Geneva with a 2-run lead here in the 8th. Kicking and firing from the right side of the rubber is Julkowski, and the heater misses off the dish. 2-1. To Batavia Muck Dogs team in action tonight at the Auburn Double Days. Julkowski comes set. Outfield's at medium depth. Two 2-1. Fastball lined into shallow right center field. It's going to be a long run for Smith and a long run for Grabowski, or rather the center fielder in Banks. Now the throw's going to come to the plate from Moniz. What kind of chaos is happening? Okay, getting nabbed out at third now is Fogg. Fogg and Simmons have a dust-up, and now there's a collision, and the benches are going to clear. Some pushing and shoving between Fogg and Simmons, and or is that Moniz? Oh, no, you don't want to see that happen. The Pioneers, for the most part, playing very good baseball, and you can't afford to have a suspension. Someone's already been tossed. Home plate umpire already. Someone's tossed. We know that for sure. As Geneva's celebrating as they go back to their stands. I mean, what chumps they are. You're 4-15. You have a disgraceful record so far this season, and you're acting like idiots when you're up 2 runs. I mean, they don't even know how to act when they're up. What idiots. What complete buffoons they are. I mean, seriously. You're going to celebrate a fight? As now Nate Krukow, Eric Burkhand get into it with the plate umpire. I understand it's complete buffoonery from the whole Red Wings side. I mean, Chase Fogg wants to act like a hot shot there. I mean, he's acting all tough. He's batting 115. What malarkey. I mean, what nonsense if the umps can't even handle this situation correctly. With all due respect, we're watching a good ball game, and by no stretch of the imagination did Simmons mean to apply the tag extra hard there. That's just soft on Fogg's part. There's no other way to say it. It just is. So multiple ejections. We'll have to get this sorted out. It's quite easy to identify a losing team. What nonsense. So as of now, it looks like, I guess everyone's remaining in the ballgame, so that's the good news for the Pioneers. I mean, you better hope Fogg's thrown out of the game. There's almost no way he's not, right? I mean, Good news is, as of now, you have all your outfielders in their regular spots. Stars in left. You have Grimesti still in center. Smith is in right. Moniz is at second. Grabowski's at short. Simmons is at third. Dubek's still behind the plate. Jolkowski's on the mound. We know somebody got tossed out. Again, with all due respect to both teams, on the broadcast we're, obliged to remain impartial, respectful of both sides, but when you're up 2 runs, you're a team that's 11 games under 500, 19 games into your season, and you're talking big to the opposing dugout, and they're still doing it now. It's just absolute clownery. There's no other way to put it. It's just absolute buffoon behavior. And they're still yelling at Moniz. I mean, if the umpires would have any sense here, you'd go over to the Geneva dugout, get control of them. Again, it's easy to identify losing behavior when you see it. A team that's 11 games under 500, that has a 2-run lead, playing well in this ball game, likely about to close out now more than a 2-run lead, as we'll have to get this whole nonsense sorted out. 2 runs come into score in the process. Or rather, 1 run comes into score, excuse me. Fogg is thrown out at third for the second out. Bermudez struck out. So Moniz remains in the ballgame. So does Grabowski and Simmons. The good news is we know someone got thrown out, but nobody actively on the field for the Pioneers. So it seems as if all will be fine. Michael Palmer seemingly still in the ball game. So the Pioneers don't lose any position players, which is a really big bonus. At least it seems that way as of now. Wait a second. Umpires are still convening. Talking things over with Andy Drum. I mean, you better hope Fogg gets thrown out of the game. I mean, what an what is he doing? What does he think Simmons is trying to do there? What nonsense. Anyway, when all's said and done, Pioneers are now down 6-3, 2 outs, top of the 8th. It's Aiken Santana with the bases empty. So in the inning, a run is home on a hit off the bat of Fogg. It'll go down as a double. A run comes in to score. That's Banks. As the first pitch, low and inside to Santana. 1-0 the count. As Jolkowski kicks and fires just off the outside corner. 2-0 the count. From Jolkowski, outside corner fastball. Santana slumps the knees, takes it for a called strike. For the most part, very well handled by the umpires. Nothing crazy excessive comes out of that besides the original pushing and shoving from Fogg on Simmons at third. This one snared off the mound. Grabowski's going to range to his left. Fires to first. Stretched by Palmer in time. What a throw from Grabowski. And the Pioneers get some momentum now as we head to the bottom of the 8th and more of the benches come out to empty. Wow, what a chippy game. 5-3 Geneva leads as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Stay with us on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Elmira as we get you set for the bottom of the 8th inning of action. 5-3 the Pioneers trail in what's become quite the chippy ball game. Again, I want to just briefly address some of the few comments made about Geneva and the altercation that just occurred in the top of the 8th inning. We're always going to try and maintain a sense of common courtesy and professionalism when it comes to respecting other opponents, but when you go in and try and start an issue with an innocent third baseman who's just applying a tag, I felt that, it was a little bit out of the realm of respect of what you should do. Nonetheless, appropriately handled by the umpires. Chippy game, emotions are going to take over occasionally, so all settled and we move on. 5-3 Geneva leads, 2-2 the count to Manganiello with nobody out. Home half of the 8th inning. Real issue for the Pios is they got to start hitting now. They're in danger of dropping the ball game, down 5-3. 6 defensive outs remaining for Geneva to pick up. Two with nobody out. A swing and a miss. Manganiello down on strikes for out number 1. So here comes John Simmons, 0 for 1 in the ballgame, but he's walked twice. John, a walk in the bottom of the 4th and a walk in the bottom of the 5th. He bats from the left side with 1 out. Rather, Geneva leads 6-3 through all the commotion and chaos. Another run came in to score, an RBI off the bat of Chase Fogg, who still is in the ballgame miraculously. So the dust up didn't cause any player ejections as of now, from what we know. So that's the good news for both sides. 0-1 with 1 out as Simmons takes the fastball away. 1-1 the count. So for Geneva in the top of the 8th inning, a run on a hit, an error, and a runner left on base. One to Simmons. Looped off the end of the bat, shallow left field. In charge is Fogg, and he makes a nice running grab for out number 2. A really nice play made by the Geneva left fielder. So with 2 outs and the bases empty, that'll bring up Michael Palmer. First offering to Palmer, fouled back to the screen. Nothing and 1 the count. Six runs on 6 hits and 3 errors for the Red Wings. 3 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors for the Pioneers. It'll be an 0-1 with 2 outs and the bases empty. Palmer looking to keep the 8th inning alive. Geneva 4 outs away from victory with a 3-run lead. It'd be their 4th win in their last 5 should they lock it down. Fisted off the end of the bat. It's a jam shot. Aiken Santana at first completes a 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th. Palmer snaps the bat in frustration as Geneva is celebrating as they head off to their sides. 1-2-3 go the Pios. At the end of 8 innings, 6-3, the Red Wings lead here on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Elmira. 6-3, the Red Wings lead over the Pioneers. As we head to the top of the 9th inning, a new hitter in for Geneva. It's going to be Braden Freeman in place of Jack Turner. He'll bat from the left side against Casey Julkowski. Casey going into his 2nd inning of work. First offering from Julkowski, a high fly ball into shallow left field. Ranging out as the shortstop Grabowski in place of the left fielder Starr. He'll put it away for out number 1. So here comes Casey Burkruff. Burkruff's 2nd at-bat of the game. A walk his last trip to the plate. 6-3, the Red Wings lead in the top of the 9th with 1 out. Fastball catches the bottom of the zone for a called strike 1. Pioneers, should they not escape the ball game with a victory, it'd be their first loss in 4 games at Dunn Field. Their last one coming to the Auburn Double Days last Wednesday. Since then, a win over the Red Wings last Thursday, then a doubleheader sweep over the Pilots last Saturday. 1-1 with nobody out. Breaking ball inside corner for a called strike 2. So 1-2 the count with the bases empty. Top of the 9th inning. As Julkowski comes set, right side of the rubber, delivers, line drive, back up the middle into center field for a base hit. Good piece of hitting there from Burcroft. He's aboard with one out. So it's Julkowski against Michael Uchi. Uchi 1 for 3 in the ball game, a ground ball and a strikeout as he lines one to center field. Grimesti settles under it, the call and the catch. A strong piece from Uchi. We mentioned even when he's getting out, he's having really, really good at-bats this season, piecing together one of the most consistent seasons for a Red Wings position player right now. .333 batting average entering tonight's game as he lines one there to center. Had an infield single in the 5th, came around to score in the process. 1 for 4. Hard ground ball to the shortstop Grabowski his last time up as well. So 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Red Wings piecing together a nice ball game. Their bullpen has been phenomenal. Michael Sardu, 2 1/3 innings of work, a hit, no earned runs, no walks and a strikeout. Now Anthony Barton in relief of that as Jaden Madrid calls time, steps out of the box. Julkowski a spin and fire back to the bag. Julkowski fires outside corner for a called strike 1. Casey delivers, and the fastball misses just high. 1-1 the count. Julkowski fires, dribbled on the ground to third. John Simmons charges into his forehand side. The throw across the diamond in time to enter the top of the 9th inning. And Casey Julkowski, a bit of a stare towards the Geneva dugout, and you appreciate Casey's animosity and intenseness, but all heads are trying to be prevailed at this point. Geneva with a 3-run lead. Home plate umpire calmly separates both sides apart. In the inning for Geneva, they go down. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left on base. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Pioneers. Geneva ahead 6-3 on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Pioneers trail 6-3 as we enter the home half of the 9th inning. It'll be Jacob Moniz followed by Brandon Dubeck and Shane Starr against Anthony Barton, who's looking to finish out a solid relief outing for himself. 2+ innings of no-run baseball for the Pioneers have gone down in order. 6 up, 6 down for Barton. He's been lights out for Geneva as they look to lock down the victory here. A ground ball deep in the hole at shortstop. An off-balance throw from Burcroft. A stretch by Santana in time. What a throw from the Geneva shortstop, Casey Burcroft, to his backhand side. An unbelievable play. Staunch athleticism exhibited there by the Red Wings shortstop. Moniz is retired, a 6-3 putout. As Ty Martineau is now going to pinch hit in place of Brandon Dubeck. Righty on lefty matchup. First pitch down and in to Martineau. 1-0 the count. Next offering just misses low, 2-0. Fastball inside, Ty takes 3-0 the count. What a ball game this has been. The twists and turns and emotions. Pio's tied it at 3 in the bottom of the fourth. Since then, Geneva's taken control. Now a walk to Martineau with 1 out. As Ty's aboard for another pinch hitter, it's Brendan Hammer. So it's Hammer against Barton. Righty on righty matchup with 1 out. Pios trail by 3. Home half of the ninth in danger of dropping their first ball game of the season to the Red Wings. First offering is a fastball inside. 1-0 the count. Next offering, outside corner, breaking ball for a called strike. Hammer batting .381 across 7 games. 8 hits, 6 RBIs. Rolls on the ground to Madrid. He goes to second, 1. On to first. Santana the stretch, not in time. A fielder's choice as Hammer legs it out. Martineau's washed at second. 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. So here's Vincent Favada, stands in as last chance for the Pios. 1 for 2 in the ballgame. He's reached base in 2 of 3 plate appearances. Barton, who fires from the right side of the rubber, line drive caught at second, and the ball game is over. So the Red Wings win 6-3, the final score. As the Pioneers and Red Wings are talking some more after the game. So that's how the ball game ends, a 6-3 win for Geneva over the Pioneers. Again, a crazy ball game. To just put it the mildly respectful way, though, again, the situation, you respect both sides, but in the eyes of the Pioneers, it likely could have been handled with a little more class from the opposition side, to put it respectfully. Again, a team's allowed to be happy to win a ball game. That's for sure. Emotions run high. Things get chippy. There are situations that are not ideal, but in the same breath, it's not fantastic to have disrespect come across your side. Once again, want to extend out an apology for a comment I made an inning earlier about a Geneva Red Wings player who let the emotions and the situation in the moment get the best of him. It's not indicative of my character and who I aspire to be, and just want to take that moment to briefly apologize. The game is about the players, not about any other existential factors that exist besides that. So, want to thank everyone who tuned into this broadcast. Once again, the final score, the Geneva Red Wings 6, the Elmira Pioneers 3, and we can hope that cooler heads will prevail sometime soon. Final line in the ball game for Geneva, 6 runs on 7 hits and 3 errors. For Elmira, 3 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors. I'm Farrell Hudson saying so long and good night. Be sure to tune in to the Pioneers Baseball Network tomorrow as your Pios get set to take on the Batavia Muck Dogs.